On today's starting nine, Jake, Carl, White Sox Dave, and Anthony Ranaudo sit down for an amazing in-person roundtable conversation to get you guys ready, not just for MLB playoffs in the home stretch, but also some ripping packs. This is an interactive episode. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. So close.
Yeah, we have talked that we're going to start maybe ripping some stuff on the show. We talked about that in the past.
And on today's show, we're going to do that. Let's get into a great starting nine.
Yeah.
Action. Welcome back to starting nine. I am a host of the show, Carl, joined to my left in person, Jake Arrieta, in a cast of characters with us today, White Sox Dave, Anthony Ranaudo. Boys, welcome to the show. We've got some introductions to get into, but first, Jake, welcome to Chicago.
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Our first show in the studio together, and our first guest in the studio.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
So we did
You're
one.
our first in person.
Yeah.
Well, we've done
That's an honor.
Boris and Liam Hendricks in person and stuff, but in a
not
studio
like in
setting.
the studio here.
Wow.
And we've got Tommy Lay, our producer for the day, sitting behind the mics.
We're well taken care of.
You've met some guys. And also welcome Jason. Jason Hernandez from, can I say who you work for? Am I allowed to? From the Scott Boras Group Corporation, I should say.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to stay a secret.
Okay, well, he's
Yeah,
in
Corp.
studio too. Good friend of the program at Barstool Chicago for a long time. This is a big starting nine. Welcome to the show.
I'm honored. This is awesome. That's cool.
Okay, and let's do some introductions.
Let's do
Let's
that.
do it.
Yeah,
To my right is
yeah.
Anthony Renaudo, first round draft pick in what year?
2010.
Okay.
Yep. Supplemental.
It's
Some
still,
people.
it's still first round.
That's what I say too. But I like to throw it in there because there's going to be people that are like, is that a first
Is it?
round?
Yeah.
You know?
Is it really? It's like
I'm like, I don't care. It has a 1 in front of it. Give
and
me
what
it,
are they? It used to be called, or it's called like the sandwich round
Sandwich
too.
round, yeah. Supplemental.
Yeah.
There's
Big leaguer?
compensatory, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Big leaguer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to gloss over that. It's like
No,
first
yeah,
round,
yeah.
and then what happened? You made it to the big leagues.
I was probably a bust, but yeah, I did make it to the big leagues. It's all right. I made it up with Boston, got traded to the Rangers, then traded to Chicago, and then played a year in Korea. So, and I like to self-deprecate, but it was a great career. It was awesome. I had a great time, but I'm sure the Red Sox thought I was going to be a little better.
Probably some Red Sox fans listening to this angst.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
shut up.
Just
Get over it.
PTSD, yeah.
And then also join us, legendary Barstool Sports baseball guy, White Sox Dave, a partner in crime of mine for many, many, many years, thousands of hours talking baseball with this guy. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Thank you for having me.
Thousands of hours.
Yeah. Yes.
Thousands, yeah.
And talk about a full circle show. This is probably the most baseball guy per guy a podcast I've ever been in.
Yeah, and we met for the first time today,
Mm-hmm.
but I've heard a lot of great things about you from Carl here, and I mean the Cusack story is just amazing.
Did you see that on your own?
The Cusack thing?
Yeah.
No, I think you showed it to me
Yeah, I asked, what did you think about this?
When
Because I
he
didn't
was in
know if
Austin.
John Cusack was,
because I had no idea about it.
if he's relevant or not.
Have we told the story a lot on the show?
It's
Is there a quick
beaten
recap that
into
we
the
can-
ground.
Could you
No,
mind
I don't
kind of-
think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's all right. No, that's
Anthony
all right.
doesn't know. He's in He's in Baton Rouge right now.
Yeah.
So you don't know the story.
No.
So I'll tell quickly.
Quickly.
White Sox Dave, passionate White Sox fan.
Gotcha.
John Cusack is a Chicago sports fan.
Yep.
John Cusack made it known when the Cubs were on the run, he was around town. When the Blackhawks were on the run, he's around town. So then at the White Sox first home playoff game, White Sox Dave was there, saw him in line, like trying to get in. And so Dave went up to him on camera, was like, "What are you doing here? You shouldn't be
That's
here."
not exactly.
To the I mean, this is just a summary.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
don't go down a rabbit hole
Yeah,
because
I'm
we
not-
got to get
okay.
around the
Yeah,
league.
yeah,
There's
so-
we're going to do, trust us, we have a lot of league stuff to get to. We're going to rip packs, but I got to tell the story. So that's how Cusack, him and John had this viral beef. And
You know where Edward Snowden is? The
Jesus.
Yeah,
spy.
the WikiLeaks guy.
Yeah, the
Okay,
WikiLeaks
okay,
guy.
okay.
He was commenting on it.
Wow.
It made it all the way to like some Russian
That's random.
bunker. Yeah,
Wow.
it was. All I gave a shit about is this fucking dickhead being like forefront of 2016, and now all of a
Right,
sudden
now
the White
it's a big-
Sox are good again.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
And we talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And it seems like you can't be a fan of both.
If you're a fan of both, you're not a fan of either.
That's fair.
I kind of feel
That's
that
fair.
way.
I grew up in Jersey. It's Mets and Yankees, like same thing. right? I feel
Exactly,
like that's what I feel.
exact
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
be a Yankees and
One-
Mets
yeah.
fan.
That's what I mean. No shot.
Well, earlier I was asking them if you're just like not really a diehard fan. You like going to sporting events, baseball games,
That's
football,
different.
and you like watching both teams. Like I want to say, there's probably some of those people out there. They're just like they'll watch both. They're not like
I enjoy both.
they're not.
They're wearing
yeah.
a cardigan right now. They're excited.
Right,
for
but
fall
not
to settle in.
really.
They're not
like,
fucking
not really
losing
fans.
sleep when either team
Sure,
loses, and
sure.
they're not elated when either team wins.
Yeah.
Who are the best fan bases, you think? You want to power rank those real quick? And I really mean the best.
In Chicago?
And don't be biased.
Or
I'll
just
talk about the
cities.
Cardinals
I
right
think-
now.
Yeah,
I don't
what's-
give a fuck.
What's the criteria?
The
What makes-
criteria
for the
is all right.
rankings?
Well, I guess it's different because you guys played in front of them. We're the ones like sitting with them, so it's like
Just fucking
maybe
Ranaudo.
why don't we work together and make a combination of both? The fan bases we wouldn't be opposed to being a part of, and fan bases from your perspective you'd like to play.
Well,
in front of.
here's one way that I judge
that.
it, and it might be a little partial to Wrigley, but Cubs fans never have to be told when to get loud. Like they would, they never put. You go to a baseball game, it says "Get
Jumbotron.
loud now"
Yeah.
with the noise meter.
Right.
Like Wrigley never
the
does
wave.
that. It's
No.
like they're in tune, and Fenway's the same way. Like
I was
the
gonna say
fans,
Boston, yeah.
the fans are in
Yeah.
tune
Yeah.
with the game situation when it's appropriate or it's the right time to fucking bring the noise to a 10.
What about the
some
Mets
stadiums,
fans with their phones for Timmy trumpets? Is City Field
I'm out on Mets fan. I don't know why. I don't know.
I'm kind
I
of
think
out
they're-
on them right now,
I
too.
think they're good fans.
okay?
Yeah, I
They're-
They've
think
turned
they
into
care
the
a lot.
cockiest fucking assholes on earth this
but
summer.
they've been burned so hard, so it's just kind of funny because they go up so high and then they come down so hard.
I-
I think the Mets fan falls as hard as anybody's.
We're going to talk about it later on in the show, but I hope they fucking faceplant.
I loved seeing the Mets fans doing the Atlanta chop when the Braves were playing them at Citi Field. I thought
Didn't the
that's
Braves try
fun.
some shit too?
Well,
Like,
allegedly
the
they were
trumpets or
playing it,
something?
but then people came back and said, "Well, William Contreras has been using that song for a long time," which I thought that would have been a quicker rebuttal. I thought that would have been right in my face.
So
when
he
I
was
saw
using that as a
Well,
walkout.
allegedly.
Okay,
I don't know.
Yeah,
There's got to be better.
How well do you know
trumpet songs.
Dante?
Not
question.
well.
So okay,
well.
so I was with Dante. This is like a week ago.
Dante,
this
and
is
for the
in-
audience, because this is not.
true.
This is probably this audience doesn't necessarily cross over as much to Barstool Chicago. Dante's a friend of the program, works out of the Barstool office, does a lot of blogging. Was the Cubs DJ for a number of years,
Like
and
5,
he's just like
6,
a
7
well-known
years, yeah.
Barstool guy. But if you don't know that, he's like been friends with Portnoy for like 20 years.
So Dante was telling we were
Yeah,
talking
I
about
need
the
to know.
Timmy trumpet thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome. I think it's super cool and great rallying cry for the fan base, whatever. Jock Peterson tried to do that, and he was only with the Cubs for like a half season, right? And then he got
traded
Yeah.
him to the Braves and won a World Series.
That's right. And Jock Peterson's like, oh, this is awesome. I want this to be my walkout music. And Dante's like, fuck you. I'm not doing that. I'll be the one to get crucified. Jock ended up winning the argument, so Dante did it, and Dante's getting shit on by Mets fans saying, oh, you fucking rip off. How could you do that? And he's like, it's not my call, dude. It was Jock's call.
Wow.
That's true.
I mean, it is, but
Jock's-
credit to
yeah,
the
it's
Mets
Jock's
fans
call.
for
Yeah, it's
getting
Jock-
passionate about their
Jock's
walkout
call.
music. Credit to Mets
Yeah, I
fans
mean,
for being like
but there are-
territorial about that.
There are guys around baseball that have the same walkout.
Yeah, that
you know,
happens,
you
right?
can't.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a bank of songs and they get crossed
taken
off when
off.
someone chooses it.
But no one's
That'd
doing
be kinda
Enter
fun to have a
Sandman.
lottery.
You can't do Enter Sandman if you're a closer. That's Moe's, you know?
Do you
Some
think-
are
what
just
was,
like, you
uh,
own it.
I guarantee you, there's young kids now coming up that like don't even know that was
That's true.
Mariano's
That's true, yeah.
walkout.
Yeah.
But if you're
They
another
might love
pro
the
baseball
song.
You're
player,
absolutely true. That's true.
You know,
Kangaroo Court for those losers. What was your walkout?
I never got a really walkout because there was always playing promotions and stuff, and it
that's
bothered me
what
at LSU.
sucks for
Yeah.
relievers.
What?
Like they'll
I guess
play
that's true, yeah.
unless it's the closer. Even when the closer comes into the game, and they're obligated to play some of these advertisements. But it's like in a tie game or 1-run
Right.
game, you bring in a big
Fuck
time
the
reliever throwing
advertisements.
gas.
Yeah.
Put
You want
the
that
fucking
stadium-
walkout on.
Right.
And we
Let's
had
turn. Can we do
had
the lights and stuff? That would be fun. That's
we had
what-
meetings with the team that ran all that, the ads and the stuff that's on the jumbotron and the music they play, and we'd tell them, like, you know, time and time again, like, you need to like get the ad done as quick as you can, because when that guy comes in a big spot,
Yeah.
we need him to have his
Yeah, but
song.
then you got
right.
Crane Kenny coming in
There's
with a
a
nice
big-
sport coat being like, sorry, we sold a 60-second ad read, and that's the way it is.
And that ad
that's
read
the end of the
costs-
We need the
business. Now,
lights to be on.
hey, now
$50,000.
shut up and go play.
And, you know, but every stadium is similar in that regard. They all do it. They
Yeah.
all play the ad read
Yeah.
or whatever the stupid fucking thing they have to run is. But you're just like, you're depriving that guy of that moment, and that shit helps. You know, when you're working out and you got like the right song on,
huge.
you do a few
Huge.
more reps,
Yep.
or you know your juices are going.
Yep.
What about, are there any clubs around the league that you think players have more say in stuff like that than others? Like, obviously, the Yankees are a glaring example where the players would be like, we'd like to do it like this. They'd be like, get the fuck out of here. We're the Yankees. You know, and then obviously Oakland, they're like, we can't do anything. You know, it's not in the budget. So I don't know, maybe like I see like maybe the Rangers or something where they're like, what do you guys want, fireworks? Like, put a player committee together and we do like a concert afterwards.
You need to go to Korea for that. When I played in Korea, there was it was like DJs and like they had like a hype man on a thing going up and down. And the lights are flickering. Like it was nuts. It was fun though. It was awesome.
And you get prize money over there, don't you?
Yeah, they call it
in
like fight
Japan
money.
too.
What does
that
Like
mean?
if you hit like a walk-off homer, a game-winning hit, or you get a save, you'll have just like cash sitting on your chair.
The owner
That's
just
fucking
comes in and
awesome.
just it's like just
Yeah.
hands you an envelope and you're like, oh,
Yep.
nice, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's part of the like league, or that's part of like that's a gentleman's
their
agreement.
culture, right?
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know if it's
bribes
if
everywhere.
it's like the front office does it or
I think it's
who's-
ownership, like
who's
like
ripping
front
off
office,
the-
What
you
happens
know.
if you blow a game? Do you like show up, your tires
you
are
gotta-
slashed, your fucking loved ones get
That's a good one.
kidnapped?
Maybe.
Yeah. I wasn't good enough in Korea to get any fight.
Yeah,
money,
we
so.
talked about this. So you went to Korea.
was awful.
You'd played what a number of years in the big leagues. We have personal experience. And before we get to this, I'd like to thank Game Time for sponsoring this episode, the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Obviously, we talk a lot about Game Time on this podcast and show. It's because Game Time rocks. You guys should download the Game Time app and go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code STARTY9 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. I don't even know how to like stress using Game Time any more than I already do.
We have so much.
It's on the front page of the apps.
I do love Game Time. I use it down in Louisiana. For
And
the
you're like a
Pelicans game.
smart guy when it comes to
Thank
like
you.
buying and selling
Thanks for
things.
saying. Yeah, thanks for saying that.
Right, like you understand
Maybe.
marketplaces.
Yeah, I
and
do.
we're going to talk about your understanding of
Yeah, there we go.
marketplaces later in the show. But you know Game Time works.
Game Time's awesome. I really do like it. I'm serious. I like my floor seats from the Pelicans. That's where I use Game Time for real.
Dave, concerts?
Last minute.
I might fire it up when I get home and say, fuck it, I'm going to Clapton tonight.
Man, is he in town?
He's in town, yeah. I guess they're literally giving tickets away, so I might not even have to use Game
was
Time.
gonna
Not
say,
say
you don't
he's
need it.
literally,
Yeah.
they're giving them away
Tonight.
Oh, wow.
tonight at
Really?
UC. Yeah.
Maybe I have to delay my
little
flight.
delay, little 6
You flying out today?
Little Game Time.
Supposed to fly out tonight. Yeah.
But
I mean,
the
we
Game
could-
Time
we
app
could
is
maybe
so
change.
good. The tickets are so low. The prices are, they're fucking guaranteed. Sorry, I shouldn't say it like that, but they're guaranteed, fellas. So again, download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab to create a login. Redeem code STARTY9 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Okay, a further introduction. This is kind of my idea as we get going because there's so much stuff to talk about. But as it comes up, so like Anthony and I have a connection here. You were the Friday night pitcher for LSU, won the national championship, pitched Game 3, the last game of the season against Texas. Legendary guy, Jersey guy, goes down to LSU. Great career, hurt freshman year, and then you just like jump up on boards, Cape,
Yeah.
Team USA, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then get drafted by the Red Sox and all this shit. Now, in your time at LSU, I think you guys lost like one home series.
In 09, we lost one. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
pretty good that year. And yeah.
National champs.
National champs.
And a lot of people say what spurred LSU into
That's right.
national championship mode was a March.
Weekend in March, rainy weekend. It was gloomy, depressing, cold. It was not good.
Now,
you
can
guys
you
can't
look
handle
at
the
now
elements.
people that have been
That's why they
come
felt
on.
good.
This
That's
story-
why
this
it was
story
home
has
for
been
them.
with me for 10 years now, and I'm going to fucking have this guy tell it right to White Sox Dave because
Oh,
White
I
Sox
already
Dave
know where it's
shits
going.
on me nonstop about telling this story. Can you look at that guy and tell him exactly what happened?
They did beat us 2 out of 3. It was tough. They came in and they beat us at our place. We had been riding a wave too because we had just opened the stadium. We were number 1 in the country. We were feeling ourselves. They came in, they beat us. They beat our ass too. It was pretty.
And that was the
Illinois
one.
is
That
on-
was
it's one of those-
the one home series.
You kind of tip your cap, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, that was
sure.
it. Yeah.
Did you guys set a school record for wins that year?
We did. No, I don't think we did. Yeah, we did.
Well,
we did.
there
Yeah.
could have been,
We did.
because you guys would play like 70 games.
That's what. Yeah, I think we won like 56 or something like that.
Insane.
That year. 56 and 16 or something.
DJ LeMahieu
Wow.
was a teammate of yours?
And good, really good friend.
All right, so we
Yeah.
could talk about him for a second?
We can.
Because
We
this is
can.
like what I'm saying is like as we're
Yeah.
going through the intro, but now let's bring it back because
Yeah.
I'm sure people are you surprised at how high quality of a hitter he is at this level? Like, is there a level that isn't? Because to me, there isn't any time where he's overmatched.
No, he's DJ. I say this all the time. He's probably since the day that I met him on DJ and I played together like on those travel teams and stuff before we got to LSU, so we kind of knew each other. But from the second he stepped on campus, he won the starting shortstop job. He was just a different player than I'd ever seen. Hitting, fielding, the way he carried himself, true professionalism. All he cared about was baseball too. Like it was
One of those guys, yeah.
So it was just
It
a
was
baseball
nuts.
rat, and
That's
so
it.
he just like he
Different.
had that
Yes.
that sort of hitting tool early. Like you
Yeah.
saw it at LSU.
But it was everything too. That's what I'm saying. Like the hitting was very
Just a ball player.
Exactly. But it was just the way he carried himself. You're like, he's gonna figure everything out. Like, one of those things. He was leadoff guy his freshman year, like right away. I think 2-hole his whole career for us and stuff. and just the best player on the field pretty much all times. You know, just carried himself that way too.
And have you like?
I love watching him.
Any
play.
sense
He's
of
so
like
smooth.
him coming from
The
the
big fundy.
Rockies to the Yankees? Like he's just such a Yankee. You look at players like, dude, that guy's a Yankee, or of course, Anthony Rizzo to me is like a classic Cub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's something about him where it's like maybe not that drastic superstar level, but all good Yankees teams always had that guy where it's like, dude, remember him? He was
Like the
legit.
Bernie Williams.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I say all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like he's like the silent MVP of their team.
Right.
You know, does everything right,
Sure.
plays every position, fits in where he needs in the lineup, and does whatever he needs to do to win. Yeah, like
And he's got a massive chew in like at
all
all times.
Yeah, that's a new
Just
thing.
a hog.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
Like I'm assuming it's like Levi Garrett or Redman or something. It's
gotta
just,
be,
it's
right?
out there.
Yeah, it's
great.
nice.
That's kind of one of those things you look at like, okay, he's a ball player.
he is a guy.
You know?
You know what was
I
else
love-
really cool is him being the shortstop and this big name right away at LSU. He's not from the Bayou or whatever, and the name DJ LeMay.
I always just assumed
you would thought
Right?
you would think
that
that
he
this
was
guy
boy
like,
from
grew up-
Michigan.
He's
Bro,
from
he's
Michigan.
from Michigan.
Michigan.
He went to Brother Rice, Michigan,
Yep.
which is like an up
Yeah, I know.
like a suburban part of
Super good football program. I know.
It's just so funny. Like, all right, so then that guy, and I always think, what takes these northern baseball players to get down to these SEC schools? Different now because there's more uniform, universal recruiting.
Yeah.
There's more like scouting and showcases and stuff. But dude, if you go back to like that time, 2008, 7,
really
whenever
happen
he's
much.
getting recruited, like, all right, you're coming down from Michigan to play at LSU.
It
You
was
better
more
be
local, right? Like
good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like, how many
definitely.
guys played
If
at
somebody
TCU
was coming-
with you that were like,
We
hey,
had-
I'm from Wyoming.
If somebody
or-
came from the north, they were a dude. Like, you
It
knew
was-
it. You knew
yeah.
it. You know what
But
I'm saying?
you think like the dudes in that area are going to stay more local. Like you have more of a stronghold of kids like closer to your university.
Right.
But yeah, like we had. I mean, when I was at TCU, most of the biggest prospects, overall, were going to like Texas or like A&M, and then TCU started to get like their fair share of like big time recruits. And we had 2 guys from Chicago, which was kind of random. We had a guy from West Virginia.
Who from Chicago?
A kid named Cody Dunbar was from Chicago. I forget where he went to high school. I'd have to look him up. And then we had a kid named Cody Johnson from West Virginia. They threw gas. Yeah, he got kicked off the team. I think he failed like a steroid
Those
test.
out-of-state guys were a little bad boys.
Well, dude,
a little edgy. That's it.
So I love Cody Johnson. Like he was from like rough parts of West Virginia, and like if you ever got in any trouble, you want Cody Johnson like on your side. So we leave for the winter and we come back, and he was like 15 pounds heavier of like solid muscle, walking around in wife beaters. I'm like, dude, what did you do for 3? Like it was like what is it? Whatever the break is, like 3-4 weeks. And sure enough, he's off the team. Like about a month later.
Like, I did steroids. That's what I did.
Yeah.
I did a lot of
Seems
things.
like it.
Yeah, I did a lot of things.
Shit.
Well, and he was going to be our Saturday guy, so that
it's
kind of
tough.
hurt.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah.
And that's
But it was like-
that's a cool thing about college pitching staffs too. Is like, yeah, sure, you could say in the big leagues like, oh, I'm the number 1, I'm the number 2. That really only plays out at the start of the year when they're naming opening days,
Yeah,
and after
exactly.
like the
Not
third game,
college,
nobody even
no.
really cares.
Yeah.
And
You're
then
the
when you get to
Friday
the
guy.
playoffs,
It's big,
and they
yeah.
set the
Yeah,
playoff
matters.
rotation.
Big deal.
Even a playoff rotation, the big leagues like could depend on who pitched, who's healthy, matchups.
Yep.
College is like, yo, we got a Friday night dude.
Yeah.
Like you're the Friday night.
Yeah.
And even the Saturday night guy wants to be the Friday night guy.
100%.
And the Sunday night guy or the Sunday day guy is
Yeah.
like, man, I'm happy to be the Sunday guy. I'm a freshman, but man, I can't wait till
Right, it's my
Friday.
turn.
And there's
Yeah.
only
If
one
you're a
spot.
Sunday guy, say you've got 2 like horses, like first round, maybe a second round guy is your Saturday starter, and you're a pretty damn good Sunday guy, you're going to get a ton of wins.
A lot of wins,
So it's
yeah.
like
Yep.
as a sophomore or whatever, like you can end up putting up like nice fucking numbers, win-wise, if
Yeah.
you've got those guys in front of you.
The all-time leader in wins at UCLA pitched behind Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer. I'm trying to think of his name. It was
Rasmussen.
That's what I'm
was
saying.
just like-
Yeah, I remember. That's exactly right.
Because
Yep.
Bauer and Cole came in there
Yeah.
were just like freshman year right away.
Yeah.
All right, you Friday, you Saturday.
Well, we
Completely different guys.
we
Holy
almost-
shit. Could imagine coaching those guys. That college team had to be so cool. You're the shortstop, center fielder, whatever. You're just like, all right, wake me up on
And
Sunday.
you got
Right.
Bauer. You got Bauer throwing like the ball out of the stadium for long toss before the game.
Yo, you want me to tell a funny story? We played against them my junior year. We went there for a regional, and I was pitching against Bauer. And so, Jay, we're warming up in the corner, right? I'm in the left field corner.
And
I'm
he's
with my
probably throwing
catcher.
onto your side.
I'm with my catcher, and I'm getting ready to throw my first throw, shoulder to shoulder with me. And he's like, "Hey, man," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Hey, good luck today." And I'm like, oh, thanks, dude. I thought he was just some kid getting his work in, doing his long toss, right? So I finish all my throws, and I come in, and my pitching coach is like, what did Bauer say to you? And I was like, I haven't seen Bauer today. What do you mean? He was like, no, that was who was standing next to you and talking to you. And I was like, that's the kid that's pitching against me right now? He was long tossing shoulder to shoulder with me across the field, and then throwing in the bullpen in between innings.
It's like 400 feet.
And he would do the band stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's
with his jacket
There's a
on.
method to the madness there.
Yeah.
Like I think there was some. He's not a
He
dumb
got
guy.
like a
he's really smart,
mechanical
I think,
engineering degree from UCLA.
He's
really
he's
smart.
definitely a
He's
smart
a
guy.
What is his status
probably
right
two-
now? I know
well,
that
I
he's
mean,
not
isn't
playing.
he?
I think he's in trouble.
Suspended
Yeah.
for
Suspended?
2 years.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
So
No,
he's
I mean,
like for sure suspended. Now, would you?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
All right.
And they're not. They're not paying him.
I know
Like, he's
Dave's
not,
answer
He's not
to
getting
this.
paid.
Right.
I know Dave's answer to this stuff. I said, Dave, all right, do you want him pitching on the White Sox at this
I'll
point?
sell my soul. I don't give a
Exactly.
fuck.
But like, what if he comes into your clubhouse? Are you got? Yeah,
You
right.
just kind
That's-
of
but
you
yeah.
put all that stuff aside for having a talent like
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Like you, it is what
Yeah,
it
if he
is.
comes
And
into your
he has
clubhouse,
the
you're
right
like,
to
all
due
right, dude,
process.
like,
And I don't
And
know.
if that shit's behind him, yeah, like let's move forward.
I don't know Bauer personally, but if he's going to come in here and be a part of the team and help us win games, I'm all for it.
Shut the
Yeah,
fuck up
that
and
was
win
right,
baseball.
remember our
that's
first
more,
episode?
Yeah, exactly.
We were trying,
Just
know your
exactly.
spot now.
he might
Just-
come on the
just
show.
do your job.
He's
That's
not
all.
gonna get him on the show.
And if you win games, you put up with more.
Right.
It's like, you know, with Gronk, like he can do whatever the fuck he wants because he puts up numbers.
Yeah.
You know, like if
Yeah,
you
definitely.
don't put up numbers and you
you're
do
a
certain
cunt.
things, it's
Yeah.
like, all right, man, like, yeah, thank you for your services, but we're
See ya
gonna,
later.
yeah, we're going in a different direction.
Exactly.
All right, I'd like to say thank you to Ridge Wallet for sponsoring today's episode. Ridge Wallet is an ultra slim minimalist wallet that can hold up to 12 cards plus room for cash. Dave, did you hear that? You can carry cash finally. They're going to give you room so you don't have to Venmo your buddies. There's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium, which probably looked like what was the name of the lizard we saw
That was
today?
a bearded dragon.
That was a bearded
We
dragon.
saw a lady carrying a case with a bearded dragon in it earlier.
Yeah, we were like,
What?
hey, is that a dragon?
Like a pet dragon?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and she said it was like Game of Thrones. She's in a Game of Thrones and I'm just fucking with her. She's had a pet dragon, but Game of Thrones.
What would you do if you saw
But Ridge Wallet, they have the burnt titanium, which looks like what is it?
Excuse me?
Bearded dragon.
Bearded dragon. Yeah.
By the way, good beard today.
Thank you.
The wallets have over 50,000 5-star reviews. That's a lot of 5-star reviews. The durable material means each wallet comes with a lifetime warranty. Huh, Mr. Broker Dealer over here to my right. Lifetime warranty.
I like
makes
that.
him serious. They're so confident if you like it, they'll let you test drive it for 45 days. You can send it back for a full refund if you don't love it. Guys, go check out their site, ridge.com. Use code STARTING9 for 10% off your order. Get your Ridge wallet. Send a picture.
I
Take a
need
picture,
one.
Send it to me. With every dollar spent on the website before September 30th, you'll be entered to win a brand new upgraded Ford Bronco or $75,000 cash. Ridge wallet, 75 big ones.
A Bronco.
Or a Bronco.
I like a Bronco. I want
wanna
to
take the Bronco.
I
You
want
guys
a Bronco. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the two-door, bro. The new Bronco,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
two-door.
yeah.
I'm a big fan of that.
I would get
Yeah.
the 75 grand and I'd put it in my Ridge wallet because there's that much room for cash, but not really because it's a slim fit minimalist wallet. Check out their site, ridge.com, and use the code STARTING9 for 10% off your order. Thank you, Ridge Wallet, for sponsoring this following segment. World Series prediction.
Astros, Dodgers. I know that's boring.
Little
it's not.
chalk.
It's
I
good.
think that's what it is.
It's
Little
good.
chalk. White Sox, Dave.
I'm gonna go Astros. I think the AL sucks.
Yeah, I do
And
too.
I'm gonna go with the Mets, and I hope they lose in heartbreaking fashion.
I'm going to take the Jared Kelenic series. I'm going to take the Mets Mariners.
Eric Marshall.
Yeah.
I played against him.
Eric- getting hot in the
Marshall.
playoffs?
Yep.
Dude, Luis
He's from
Castillo's going to go
Chicago,
out there and just
Marshall.
that
Was he from
changeup is gonna
Barrington?
play.
I
Yeah.
love
Yep.
it. And
Dude,
I love
Seattle,
Julio.
The Seahawks are down.
I played against him.
I love Julio
Dude, he
too,
was
so I
not.
would
He
love
was
that.
good.
do
He
we
was
got?
good. My
His
prediction.
dad was a big time big leaguer.
Oh, we're talking about a guy from TCU from Chicago.
Davey, research.
My prediction?
Pound that fucking machine. What do you got?
Dodgers.
Dodgers?
And I want to say,
Doyers.
I'd love to say the Mariners. I'd love to see them. You know, I mean, it's not going to happen.
I
But I'm
know.
just going to
I want to see, dude, Seattle in the playoffs. You've been saying.
I want
It's
to see
not show
Julio
forever.
Rod
Yep.
Yeah, me too. That's what
in
I
the
said,
world
yeah.
in
Me
the
too.
playoffs.
Jesse
too.
Winker. Give me Mitch Haniger's, but
I want to see Luis
Mitch Haniger's
Castillo.
earned it.
They haven't been in the playoffs since 01. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, they won
They
116
fucking
games.
shit down
Right.
the White Sox
Yeah.
throat that year.
That was
Yeah.
sad too.
Then
Because
they
the
didn't
Sox
win.
were back. Frank Hurt was in the MVP race.
Yeah.
Ray Durham was so legit. Those were good teams. The AL
Ray
West
Durham,
is, and it's funny. We talked about this on the last show. We're like, I have to give an award to Mike Trout. All this talk about Shohei Ohtani. You know, Mike Trout's hurt, back, hear this, Angels are for sale, Shohei's going to win this and that. Homered 7 straight games.
Seven
Just
straight.
dragging his dick
As
all
soon
over
as
the
you
league.
think he's hurt,
Yeah.
he's gonna take a while to get going. Is he gonna be himself? And then look,
I
I
at
saw a
this.
tweet the other day, and I almost agree with it. They're like, it's crazy because he's gonna go down as one of the all-time great baseball players that have ever lived. Is he still underrated?
Trout.
I think so.
I think he
man, I
kind
don't
of
know.
is a
look
little
at
bit.
look at his cards though. Like we're going to
Yeah,
talk a little bit
yeah.
about the cards later, but I mean, didn't one of his sell for like $4 million or something like that? One of his rookies.
I don't know, but
Yep.
That's crazy. But I mean,
In-
he's the
in
most
the
expensive
millions.
in baseball.
In the
Yeah,
millions,
yeah, definitely
yes.
the most expensive.
And
in
you
baseball.
got a signed,
I do.
very
I
rare
have a legit
signed Trout.
piece
You just
of-
pulled it, huh?
Yeah, piece
His
Good
of,
advice.
first box.
Good advice.
First box
right?
he's
And
ever
he
opened.
was gonna get something else too.
Yeah.
You said that. What could you get for that?
I think it's
Couple
like
thousand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so keep it
It's
that.
a
It's a
patch
nice card.
auto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On card or sticker? Does it have a?
It's on card.
On card.
It's
I
hard,
should have
which
brought it
is
in
definitely
free
better.
valuation.
Way better.
You
Yeah.
know, it's hard for me. I lose nice things, so like,
That's
what do
good.
I do with this? You know,
Well,
I know
don't
you
lose
guys have
that.
great collections. All right, let's just keep going around the league for a second. Are you passionate about the AL East? Do you, because you like grew up in Jersey and then got drafted into it and kind of came up through that?
Yeah, I think I definitely resonate way more there, and I still watch Yankee games more than anything, like
Mm-hmm.
because I was a Yankee fan growing up. I find like when I'm done playing ball, I've gotten back to like my childhood roots of watching baseball. It's
I'm the
weird.
exact same
Yeah.
way.
It's
Exact
weird.
same way.
It's weird.
And I think some of that has to do with now getting into trading cards.
Yeah.
Like in
Makes
just-
sense. Yeah.
Like it's weird that I feel like a fan of certain players.
Yes.
You know?
Of show, I
But
literally
it's-
feel like a fan
but
of
it's
show.
cool though. You
Yeah.
know, but it's that respect,
Yeah.
the level of respect you
Yeah.
have for certain guys because I played and know how hard it is to do what they do. And it's like, man, I just big fan of these guys.
But there's
You know
got
what
to
I
be a
mean?
version of you in your playing career where like you wouldn't be collecting cards of opposing players.
I was talking shit and giving, Jock Peterson and Marisnik and Rizzo and KB, they're buying boxes and ripping cards in the clubhouse. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
I was gonna ask you what
What are
the
y'all
temperament
doing?
was of that,
And I'm telling you, like,
because that's the way it was when I was playing. It was like we don't. That's some weird shit. You're
Pat
like,
Neshek,
yeah, like,
Pat
yeah.
Neshek, I think just recently sold like
Exactly.
$2 million of his personal collection.
Yeah.
Like he's got,
He's been doing it
Todd
for a
Frazier's
minute.
probably
he's
not
got some of the
collecting cards.
best shit.
Well, he is
right?
actually.
Is
now.
he
He's
now?
into it now.
Yeah.
I
But
sent
at
him
the
a Cade
time-
Cunningham. No, yeah, but exactly not at the time. No, and he would be the one that would be giving me shit. I guarantee. If I'm opening some cards, Todd's gonna be over me just talking shit for sure.
No doubt,
Yeah.
no doubt. But then once my son got into it, then I started getting back into it.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's fun. It really is.
What do you
It
think
really is.
the shift was? Because I'm like, why all of a sudden is it okay and cool and acceptable or whatever?
COVID, man.
Money?
It was dead
Money?
for a while.
Well, we had Sean Evans on our show.
And money
and-
maybe too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
You know
so-
Sean Hot Ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sean was on our show last.
He's big
like
into
a
it.
diehard. He's a diehard White Sox.
I was
Really?
yeah.
like
COVID
he was
got
out in
him
Boston
got him
alone.
into it.
Yeah.
Like so when COVID happened, he started collecting cards.
Yeah.
And
he-
like middle of the interview, he gets up. He's like, "Actually, you guys want to see the?" And he just has like a hole. He opens up a cabinet underneath his TV.
Yeah, shoe
and it's
boxes
just
full of
shoe
cards.
boxes
What?
full of
I
cards.
love that. That's great.
And it's funny because it's like it's one of the baseball more than any other sport to me just connects people in a way where.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm friends with Sean, but I'm also a huge fan of his. I was a fan of his before we became friends. And so to just know that, like, he and I could geek out about cards.
Yeah.
And then in the same respect, we could part ways. And then he could go sit down with, Matt Damon and Charlize Theron and Scarlett Johansson and do his whole
Yeah.
gig and do his shit. And then come back and it's like, all right, what about the Jay Buhner?
Right.
Shit like that. And it's just like baseball
Yeah.
does that where
Yeah.
it just, to Jake's point, like it brings
Jay
that little
Buhner.
kid out of you.
Yeah.
It does.
That's
It
what-
does. And the nostalgia, because I used to collect as a kid.
Yeah.
You the same?
Yeah. Same.
And I think all the cards are still at my parents' house. I don't know if there's any value in there. There
Yeah.
could be, but now like COVID probably had something to do with it. But the cards are much better quality.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
so
what it
you-
is, too.
So you kind of you feel like you're getting more for your money.
Yeah.
But the prices you're paying for
Yeah.
certain products.
Yep.
Is getting crazy, and you're directly tied to that
Yeah.
with what you're doing now
Yeah.
and your shop. So
I think it's a new way to like have a fan experience too. Like that's the way that I'm seeing it for kids. And like you talk about the product, right?
Yeah.
It's a new way to get memorabilia instead of maybe going to a game or getting a piece of a bat. Like you have a chance of getting the bat or a piece of glove or a batting glove
out of a box.
box. So it's
Right.
like just new ways of collectors, collecting shit. That's the way I look at it. And I think the phones and apps and all that stuff, and especially during COVID, just made all the accessibility to it so much better. And like the money is like more liquid. That helps,
All right, so I have I'm sorry, we're gonna break, and I want to talk more about this, but I want to pulse back because I have this question. Your debut, there's this great story because if there's a piece of memorabilia, right? Like I've got the Mike Trout card with a piece of his jersey. We've got like,
Yeah.
you're talking about like, it's got a piece of his bat.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like,
yeah,
This
yeah.
is the fucking base A-Rod stepped on, or Could you imagine a 2013 Chris Sale cut up jersey card? Like a Chris Sale, like
Someone's
piece
gotta
of
have
part of
that
the jersey
part of
that
the
he
jersey.
cut.
Do you wanna hear-
I ask this because your day you got called up, what is, to my understanding, the day before, like the day of, he cut those jerseys up?
I got called up because he cut up the jerseys.
Yeah, we were
Like,
just talking
I
about
didn't
that.
have an opportunity to pitch for the White Sox if Chris doesn't cut. Well, I mean, maybe I would have. I was
Hey,
pitching
shout
well
out
in
to
AAA,
Sale.
but, yeah.
Thanks for cutting those
We
up for
became
my
really
boy.
good friends. I was like, that's my guy. I was like,
Well-
but want to hear something hilarious? I think I have one of the best unique one-of-one memorabilia pieces because I got called up because of that, and then Chris and I became really good friends, like over the time being there and stuff. So the season was over, right? It was the last day of the year, and what they do is they'll dump everything in the clubhouse and be like, hey, take this stuff for your kids. It's all the promos from the year, you know, all this shit, right? So I find the jersey that was the replica jersey night. You know, like that's what the giveaway for the night.
Yeah.
The players are wearing these jerseys. It's a giveaway. So I go grab one. I'm like, Chris, I've never asked a teammate to sign anything, but can you sign this for me? And like, whatever. And he's like, bro, fuck yeah, let's go. He signs the jersey and he goes, and he writes Chris Sale and he goes, fuck these jerseys. And then he's like, wait, I'm going to do it one better. He goes and gets scissors and he
chops it up.
Chops it up. So I have it framed in my shop and it
That's
says,
fucking
fuck these
incredible.
jerseys.
That's a hell of
and
a
it's
piece
cut
of
up.
fucking
Yeah.
memorabilia
So that's
to have.
like, to me, it's like the all-time
That's a
personal
101.
collection. Yeah,
That is a
exactly.
101.
I got called up for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it's like,
yeah, dude.
And so
full
you said that was a
circle.
replica, like of the giveaways.
Yeah.
You
The
imagine
jersey
if you
that he
had-
didn't want to wear that he
imagine
cut
if
up.
you had his jersey, his real
That's
game
got to
jersey.
be somewhere, right?
Someone's got it.
It's got it.
Someone's
What about the
got it.
scissors?
The clubhouse
I mean,
guy
hey,
got
there's
it.
Scissors aren't
It's the
Cooperstown.
clubby. Who was the clubby back
It
then?
was Matt. I'll look up his last name.
Well, there's sticky fingers everywhere.
Yeah.
like people
Is that
around.
so?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Especially nowadays that this shit's going off on auctions and
Fuck yeah.
I guarantee
Did you
guys
see
are
the
doing
Justin Herbert card that just sold at auction? We talked. Did we?
Yeah,
we
you
were talking
it's
about it. 1.8 million.
But like Michael Jordan's shoes, game worn
yeah.
shoes, you know what I'm saying, are like going off for $500,000 and shit. So it's like somebody's grabbing Shohei stuff. I guarantee you all the time, somewhere.
Dude, here's a
even
great-
if it's
there's
teammates
a-
and shit. Too,
A
you know,
local
like-
guy who like repairs pools or something. The story was going around this winter. Was like cleaning out something. His dad died. He was going through like an old shoebox, and he found like in mint condition the full game ticket because they didn't tear it of MJ's first game.
It just went off on auction 2 days ago.
How much?
$440,000.
Yeah, like he sold it for like I think the first time he got it was like $200,000. Like he flipped. So it was in the news. I think like a couple weeks.
Now,
or
do you
months
think
ago.
that all this
That's
kind of
nuts.
stuff is going to end up in the same hands?
It's
like
like
this
diamonds.
select few group of people that can afford to spend 1.8 on a
Yeah.
on
It's
a Herbert
Who's
you know,
the
card?
big diamond company?
Exactly.
I think here's my space cadet.
they're
fact.
billionaires.
That's it.
Like,
yeah.
It's like the guys that are like, yeah, we care about baseball just as much as Steve Cohen. We just don't want to own a team.
Like
To me-
how?
To me, it's like space cadet shit. Like where it's like, this is my theory is like we're going to this digital era and everything's fractionalized, right? Like even Robinhood, right? You can buy shares of Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy shares of expensive art, sports cards, Rolexes, cars, and things like that. And that's where I think this is all going. Is you can own pieces
Like
of
a
the Michael.
stock.
Yes, exactly.
so like
yeah.
so eventually when those things sell over time, it's
It's
broken
appreciated.
up.
Yeah, and I've done that. I've played in that game a little bit. There's this app called Otis, right? And so you can buy. I put $2,000 into the complete set of Michael Jordan's rookie year, and 3 weeks later there was a buyout, and I made $2,000. I doubled my money. You know, like so it's
Okay.
that kind of stuff. you know?
Talk to me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
My juices
like
are flowing
value.
out too.
Yeah.
I'm
I like
always
Well,
looking for
there's so many other
get-rich-quick
ways
schemes.
to invest.
Any get rich quick scheme. That's the move, right?
Well, this
That's
is just
the move.
this is one of the ways to invest and make
Yeah.
pretty good return. Like if you know what you're looking for.
Right.
So like now that you have your shop, and it's also combined with you've got like a shoe store in there, kind of right where you do footwear.
Yep.
What are some of the methods you use to track, buying and selling? Obviously, eBay's big.
Yeah.
Do you have stuff on other auction sites, or are you tied to certain cards? Do you have a personal collection?
Yeah.
I'm
that's,
sure you
That's the
do.
hardest thing is like
What to keep, what to get rid of.
exactly as a
right?
collector, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to run a business. We were talking about it too,
Yeah.
right? Buying boxes at when they first come out,
Keeping them unopened.
Exactly. But some of them depreciate pretty quick because they're super hot at the time and people are chasing certain cards. You talk about the get rich quick, right? Is you might buy a box for $20,000 hoping to get $100,000 card
Right.
out of there. It's a one of one, right? But the second that that's pulled out of that box, the box isn't worth $20,000 anymore. So if you're sitting on 50 of them, you just lost your ass. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
My-
trying to chase that one of one.
Exactly.
I got
as
all
a
my
business,
dad's
it's hard.
baseball cards from growing up, and I got like 4 or 5 sleeves of the Billy Ripken fuck face
Oh, that's
cards.
such a good card,
And
yeah.
he said growing up he would like hoard them because it was name your price for them.
Yeah.
And now they're just like, $15 a piece.
Oh,
You
now they're like
get
on a
them.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
or
Oh,
something.
really?
It's
They're
just like a
everywhere.
meme.
But
Yeah.
graded out of 10, it still is worth like $500, $600.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
that's
So the
again,
value
scarcity.
was a lot higher, and now it's dropped a lot. And what was the reason for that?
It was like a viral card. So he was taking his team photo,
Yeah.
and somebody gave him it said "fuck face" on the knob.
So, but it was just popular for a little while.
yeah, and
Okay.
like back in the '90s or whatever. It was
Yeah,
like,
like
it was
early
like
90s,
It was
yeah.
like the
Right.
card to collect, and in
Yeah.
Beckett, like it would have the list, and it would say like error card.
Oh, man,
that's
F
fucking-
in parentheses or whatever. So like people chased it.
Now, so what are you looking for personally? Or are you looking for great deals to
Yeah.
kind of flip cards?
Yeah.
You also
That's my
looking for
hustle,
stuff
that's
for
what
your personal collection.
my hustle, he
And,
says. That's
and
what I like.
what
That's what I
what are some of the best things in your personal collection?
Let's see. Probably a LeBron rookie is probably my childhood like
What
card.
year is that? 04?
03.
03.
Everybody wants one of those.
Yeah, so I got one of those. That's in my PC. I'm starting to collect Ken Griffey Jr. like select cards of his that are more valuable, like
Yeah.
inserts and stuff.
And he's got a beautiful signature too.
Have you
the
heard
best.
stories about him like off field?
I would love to hear something.
All right, bro. He's supposed to be because he plays golf at this
Yeah.
Rich Harvest Farms, which is this like really nice course in
No
Chicago.
big deal. Carl
And-
plays a lot of golf. He plays at great
Yeah.
courses. We get it.
Yeah, dude. Hey, you guys
Tough
might
life.
Hey, while this show's out, I'm shooting 81 right now at the Pro-Am, the Live Pro-Am. So shout out me. I'm looking in the future, dude.
You have
But
to.
I have a couple buddies that have just been like around him and stuff now, just through like random stuff because they're at there, and so it's like, is he as sweet as possible? And they're like, can I tell you something? Like it's gonna disappoint you.
I don't want to
No!
hear this.
Hold
Don't
on a second,
say
hold on a
this.
second.
No.
Like, it's actually,
Don't say it.
it's
I
gonna
think he
disappoint
needs
you.
to say it.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna disappoint you. Like you don't want me to. You don't want to.
Everybody
because
has
they're
their
like-
moments though.
No, because they're like,
Right. Maybe they just caught
They're
him on a
like-
bad day.
however sweet and cool you think he is, you just can't grasp it until you're around him.
Okay,
Like,
that's
they're like,
different.
however, like
That's good.
we
So-
can't
Yeah.
even sit
That's
here
a
and
good
tell you
thing.
like
That's
there
a good
isn't
thing.
even a
Yeah.
story.
So-
No,
yeah.
so that's why I'm sitting there
That's
like
good.
you're
Okay.
gonna be disappointed.
good.
No, it's like
Yeah.
why? What did he do? Is he
Right.
shitty? Going, it's like no, dude. Like it's not till you're around the kid
That you
like
really-
actually.
Did you
oh,
see
God,
what he
just
said?
how
You
sweet.
see
That
what he
makes me
said
happy.
at his speech about Jay Buhner? Like if there was somebody, like they couldn't be more opposite, right? And they were teammates and they grew to have like a great relationship. And he's like, if there's somebody that I could choose to raise my kids, like if I weren't around, it would be him.
It would
Like
be Jay Buhner, or Jay Buhner said that about Junior?
No,
Junior?
he said that about Jay Buhner.
Wow.
Just a cool fucking moment.
That is cool.
You know?
And they're playing
That's
next
really
to each
cool.
other every
Yeah,
day.
and Jay's like wiping tears with his
Wow.
tie.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it was,
yeah.
It was,
Because
it
Jay
was
Buhner just
awesome.
got put into the Mariners
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
That's
right?
cool.
Yeah.
Wow. The kid, he does. You know what I love? That you use sweet. Where does
That's
that
what
come
we-
from?
man.
We just did like our snake draft
so
on the other
sweet.
show, and he says it a lot,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I love
Where-
it.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Where did it stem from? Where does
That's
it come from?
an Illinois baseball dugout thing.
I don't.
So,
Nice.
That's a
Killer.
baseball thing.
Yeah, no, I know, but where it like really got embedded in me is like my best buddy from Illinois baseball, Mike Giller, and he would say like that guy's just so sweet, and
That's so
it was
funny.
something
I'm
that
gonna
like,
start
I don't know if
using
I
it a lot.
liked it a
Yeah.
lot.
You've-
Then
I want to take
I
it.
would.
And
Like,
it's
everybody
not
thinks
sweet like
heart,
he's like a nice guy.
Yeah,
it's
like a
sweet,
gentle-
like,
Right,
sick,
like
like
he's like a-
nasty.
he's cool.
Yeah,
We're like
to me,
this
like
or
the
whatever, yeah.
nicest thing you could say about a baseball player is he's a sweet dude. Because like you're a dude is one thing.
Right.
Like the dude is the big. Like we talked about Blake Dean as an example, or
Yeah.
just more for like, I guess, like Aaron Judge is a dude. Obviously, that's a super easy example. Players that Jose Abreu for the White Sox is a dude, just a grizzly,
Yeah.
like good
Yeah.
luck
Oh, yeah.
sneaking
Yeah.
that 97
And with the
out.
fucking
good luck
little
getting
goatee
that.
and a
Hogs in
rubber
his mouth.
band.
He's got a softball.
Wearing
in
number
his-
79, not giving a fuck.
79.
Yeah,
I
just
love
just
that
like
move.
balling out in 79. Like
That's like
being
a rookie
dude.
issued number.
Right.
And
Jose
just
Abreu
go
ain't
rocking with
sweet.
it.
There ain't nothing sweet
Career
about.
number.
I'm not like you're not like
Right.
oh man. he's
Sweet also implies,
sweet.
like, graceful,
No, he's just a
like-
dude. He's just you show some fucking
Gotcha.
respect when that guy's
Yep.
around. But then sweet to me is like Khalil Green. Khalil Green might be the sweetest player of all time.
Gotcha.
With the 3/4
And
short.
he was
sleeve.
Oh,
Clemson
yeah. He
went
made
to
it
the first
Padres,
rounder.
right?
Yeah,
Yep,
Padres.
Padres.
He was
like
an all-star.
was
for a little
okay
bit.
for
Yeah.
like a couple
Little
years.
guy.
Yeah,
that-
dude. He had Pop at short. I
Yep.
think he had like
So
26
what
homers.
happened
later.
to Khalil? Was it injuries? Was just
Yeah, I think
like-
it's just injuries, and then like he was right at the wave of when you could get drafted in the top 10 picks if your name was Khalil Green and you had long blonde hair and you hit third at Clemson. Were awesome.
Right,
And
right.
then like he was in the big leagues long enough and was successful, but then they were like, oh wait a second, like we have significantly more like major league available options. I think.
Yeah.
Like I think it was
Right.
just a guy who like sorry man.
He was in the
They're
right
paying
area,
more
he was good.
attention these days.
Yeah, exactly.
But again,
Khalil
sweet
Green.
name. So when we say sweet dudes,
Yeah.
like Manny Ramirez is a sweet dude. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it
It's not
now.
just
Yeah.
throwing it around like, oh yeah,
Right,
whatever,
he's
he's a sweet
sweet.
dude. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, Manny Ramirez is so sweet. He's such a
It's,
dude.
I think it's just the way it's your delivery on
Thank
it. It's
you.
the execution. Of it.
I've
Yeah,
spent a
that's what
lot
it
of
is.
time talking about people who are much better at baseball than me.
Do you know how to describe
built
it? That's
careers
good.
on it.
They have
All
different
of them?
categories.
Basically, my entire
Almost
life.
all of them.
Basically, at every level of my life, I have talked about baseball and people who are better.
But you had a jersey, and we talked about this. At some point, everybody
How is
gets
it
it
not-
taken away.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Do you
Yours-
do you ever
yours-
mix the jersey in the background of a podcast?
Yeah, we do it. I get to do it for Starting Nine, which is actually really cool. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
And how about this? We didn't get a lot of gear because I'm sure at LSU, Maneri was walking in, fucking ADs dropping stuff off. LSU just won a national championship in football. Here's gear for everybody else. And you guys sell out 15,000 every game.
I had Russell Athletic gear there.
Oh,
Russell Athletic. I'm telling you, we had some nice Nike, like a couple workout things. But these
Really?
kids get nice stuff now.
Oh, dude, now
we had
you just
Easton
walk in, you
gloves.
just
There
pick
are
stuff off a
teams.
pile.
Some teams have to have like the brands that aren't as good as like the
Right,
Nike. Like
right.
we had Puma my sophomore year. I'm like,
that's
Puma.
brutal.
Puma.
That's tough.
That's
My
I think
Easton
there were
glove-
3 spikes,
That's
like
'cause they
2 in the
like that you
front,
guys
and 1
had
in the
purple
back.
in the
You're like, is it
uniform.
even safe to wear these?
I didn't think so.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even know if we had pitcher's toes.
That's-
like
there's no
my
shot,
first
yeah.
year.
So we had Nike. All right. So my freshman year, we were sponsored by like Easton, or we had
Yeah.
DeMarini,
Yeah.
and the players were all happy. And then the next year, you show up and it's like, hey, Nike is now selling bats. And the athletic department was like, whoa, and we all got gloves, and we're like, these things suck.
Oh,
it's
the
such
bats
a
were
joke.
horrible.
Nike,
Yeah.
the
That's what
Nike,
it was for
well,
us.
and their
And
golf
we would
clubs
judge the
obviously
guys
were
that
terrible
use
too.
the Nike
Yeah.
gloves.
Yep.
You'd be like, dude, why are you using that
The
fucking
Nike gloves were so
Like,
bad. Remember
dude,
that?
but
So
some
in the
honestly,
beginning?
some
They were
guys were like,
bad.
dude, it's free.
Right.
It's like I'm using a free
And I'm-
glove. It's like, really?
Like,
Yeah, but there's
like
something
Arizona.
special about like
Really?
your glove.
Yeah, you break
100%.
that in. It's only you. It's like
Yes.
you're tied together.
So here's
And
the-
you
I took so
remember,
much
you remember,
pride
you
in
remember
the gloves.
Nakona?
Oh, I didn't
like
like
Nakona, Australian
Nakona
less
was
kangaroo
over-
leather.
Nobody
Heavy.
really
Let's
liked them.
fucking go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nakona.
it was like
Tanner Rourke used
I think it was
Nakona.
kangaroo hide, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. Yeah.
The materials were great.
No, it's kangaroo
And
from
it's
Australia.
kangaroo, yeah.
That no. Okay, you're right. You're right.
So the material was amazing, but the way that they made the gloves and the shape and the structure of
so
them
heavy.
was awful.
And how they broke in too, right?
And
Like
when
you
they
go play catch with them.
It
right
took them a
away.
while to break in, but once they got broken in, they were like floppy.
Yes.
They didn't maintain their shape. So like for me, like you have to find a way to make that work.
Oh, you were probably so obsessed with your glove.
Yeah.
And I don't say that as a
So
bad
I
thing.
used a
it's just
Mizuno. I
know
used a
that you're
Mizuno for
particular.
a year. They made
I
it
love
like it was
Mizuno.
like a professional, like kind of pro preferred model
Yeah.
that's similar to the Rawlings pro preferred.
Did you?
yeah.
What'd you use in the big?
I
in the
use
biggest?
pro preferred
Pro preferred,
Rawlings. Yeah.
Did you ever win a gold glove?
No.
Silver.
I always
slugger.
thought that was the coolest thing.
Grink,
to have, like,
Grink,
the
I think
fucking-
Grinky just kept winning all of
every
them.
Yeah.
single year. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a shot one year. I overthrew first base at the end of the season.
haunts your
Kinda
dreams.
fucked me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
it's like
that I
one
would have
air-
won it for sure. But
Oh, you know what? Let's talk rule changes. Thank you. Bring this up. I was gonna forget
it's a good segue.
because we talk. I love talking about controlling the running game. That was a huge thing we talked about in college because our pitching coach would be like, "All right, now listen up. None of you are very fucking good, so you got to be good at all the little shit that's holding fucking runners on." You know, and so it'd be like, and it was just a big part of the conversation, and we've had great conversations about holding runners, pickoff moves and stuff. His experience being, you know, like the Lester stuff, and then Kyle Hendricks is one of the best pickoff moves,
Yep.
and he's got and Jake's got a great move, and he's long as fuck to the plate. But so there's all these different strategies.
Whoa. What'd
You are
just say?
long. You're long as fuck to the plate.
Oh, you were.
It wasn't. Yeah, but
yeah.
I didn't care. I wasn't going to sacrifice.
You didn't have a lot of
my
base.
stuff.
You didn't have a lot of base runners. That
Didn't
was
have a
good.
lot
Yeah.
of-
That's
it
what I'm
Dude,
saying.
but you held runners.
I didn't
you
give up
varied
a ton of
looks.
stolen bases. You vary your whole
That's it.
your
Yeah,
time
then
to
it
the
doesn't
plate.
matter.
Well, I
to the
say all
plate.
that because
looks,
you're gone.
right.
All that stuff's gone now. 20 fucking seconds runner, nobody on. 30 seconds runner on base. You can only pick off twice.
See that?
Wait, so what if the
you can-
clock's going? Can the runner just take off, or like, you know, does that make sense?
If
Like,
you pick off the third time and you get him, he's out. But if he doesn't, he gets second base.
That's so
right. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
it's
Right.
a crazy.
So one of the best guys at controlling the
really
running
interesting.
game I've ever seen was Pedro Martinez, and I was with Baltimore still. Big league spring training was in Fort Lauderdale, and we were playing games. It's when the World Baseball Classic teams would play exhibitions against different spring training teams. So the Dominican team played us, and he started against us. And I remember one of the guys on the coaching staff came up to me and said, "Hey, just watch the way this guy holds runners. Watch how he varies his holds, his looks. I mean, he's fairly quick to the plate, but it was near impossible to steal a base off him.
Yeah.
And the amount of pride he put into controlling the running game was pretty impressive.
I really enjoyed that part of like pitching, was controlling the running. It was like that cat and mouse a little bit, and I was a bigger dude, right? So I was not crazy quick to the plate, but I enjoyed varying those holds and like kind of like getting that reputation of like in the scouting report knowing that they knew that I did that.
All
stuff.
right, dude. I remember when we went down, and not to get too like, well, when we played you guys, but it was like, hey, you guys get on against this guy, like fucking, you better be green light, because it's like if you're in a position as a pitcher and the opposing team knows, hey, we're only going to get a couple hits,
Right.
So it's like, all right, if you drill a guy, bro, you better be looking. That's a free. You better be as aggressive as you
100%.
possibly can. And so it's different than, all right, station. Like, hey, we're gonna light this guy up. Like,
Right.
no. So you do have more of an aggressive, or more of that aggressive relationship.
Yeah, and
with
if
base
you're
runners.
giving up 4 or 5 hits per 9 innings, like when a guy gets on, you got to find a way to get him to second base.
Yeah.
Because you're not scoring on a single with the guy in first.
We interviewed Whit Merrifield. He was like the first player, big leaguer we ever interviewed for this. When was it? 2016, 17?
that
It was a
was
long
awesome.
time ago.
Is he a sweet player?
Dude,
He's sweet.
he is.
I don't know about dude,
I don't
but
think
he's sweet.
either. I don't know, man.
Oh, he was pretty
I
sweet.
love-
for
he's
I
like a
love
little
Whit,
bit
like,
of
as
a
a
dude.
person.
He's a
Oh,
little
he's
bit
one of my
sweet.
favorite guys
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
I just
Sorry to interrupt you.
Well, I
No,
mean,
you're
we were
good.
like, what's your off-season
He's
workout
in the
routine?
conversation.
He's like,
That's
nah,
nice.
not really. He was like, what do you do before games? He's like, I have a sandwich.
But he
he was
talked
so, like,
about
you
how
watch
he
film,
put as
he's like,
much time on
nah,
his
just go
base
play.
running and learning how quick or slow or
Yeah.
whatever a pitcher was at home plate. And he wasn't the fastest guy, but he led baseball.
Yep.
4 or 5 years in a row
Yeah.
in stolen
Stolen
bases.
bases.
Well,
just
and that's
'cause-
one of those little things that you're talking
those
about
little
that
things.
that could potentially, he's good at other stuff, but could keep you in the big leagues longer.
100%.
It got him.
That's
it got
why.
him,
That's what got him to the big
extension.
leagues.
Yeah,
Exactly,
definitely. He was
exactly.
only like 14th, 15th round
Yeah.
there.
And he was kind of like a minor, like journeyman a little
He
bit.
didn't break in until 27,
That's
28.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but he did
right.
all that shit always.
Yep.
Because I played against him in South Carolina, and then played against him in the minor leagues, and he was always doing that shit. And I, like one time, I actually picked him off and like talked shit to him a little bit because I was like, I know your games, motherfucker. But like he took pride in that stuff,
Yeah.
and it was good. He was really good at it. So I love his success at the big leagues.
And speaking of success, you guys really got to be thinking about whatnot. Did you like that one?
That was good.
We work on this here on this show. You guys got to be talking about Whatnot. I should say we got to be thinking about Whatnot. Whatnot's a live stream auction app where you can buy collectibles, comics, and really almost anything else. What a great segue. What a great
perfect.
segue to where we're going. They bring business and people together through commerce where sellers can host live streams and engage connoisseurs like yourselves can bid in real time. With live streams happening 24/7, you never know what you'll discover. Whatnot is Barstool's platform of choice to sell all our weirdest and unique office finds and memorabilia. So that could be a game-worn shirt for me at a Bears game at Lambeau. I could come home and auction that off. Maybe I'll autograph it. Leave the mustard on it. Make sure to follow the Barstool Sports page to get alerted whenever we're going live. We're going to be talking more about Whatnot. It's obviously a big part of this. They're a partner of Barstool Sports. We've been talking about breaking cards, ripping packs, all that stuff. There's a reason Anthony's with us today. This is actually a really cool thing because when we started the show, it's like, hey, Jake, obviously we're going to talk baseball. We'll be following playoffs around, but like this really is about what we are interested in. And so as this card stuff comes up, it is this hot shit. We got a great partner from Whatnot. You guys should go create a Whatnot account using the link in our podcast description. Get $10 off your first purchase on Whatnot. That's a good deal, huh, Anthony?
That is a good deal.
That is a good
There's
deal.
some good steals on Whatnot.
So we got the link going around. Check the link out. Get a part of the Whatnot because this is really just kind of the tip of the iceberg. If you're into cards and you are following us or you guys like that stuff or you're just getting into it or you don't like it, and that's a good message. If you don't like it and you're like, Carl, shut the fuck up. Like, the White Sox are this and that. Like the amount of programming that's out there and conversations that are out there, this is where we're at right now and this is shit we want to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into sports, there's got to be some affinity towards trading cards and memorabilia.
Yeah.
Like I've never been like a big jersey guy, but like as I throughout my career, I would have certain guys sign baseballs for me. Like Verlander, Miguel Cabrera or Rivera, like guys that you need something from.
Yeah.
The drop dead Hall of Famers is what I call them.
Exactly.
They could
Exactly.
drop dead
Well
right
said.
now
Yeah.
and they're going to the Hall of
And
Fame.
guys would
Yeah.
send over jerseys like when we'd play a team, they'd get like your jersey and they'd send it over. You'd sign it for them, and every guy has their has something that they want as like a memory of certain players, and trading cards has kind of become that for me. You know, and I got a Whatnot account a couple days ago.
It's dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
Dangerous.
But you know, it's just if you're gonna be all in, you got to do it.
We break a lot on Whatnot, so we do three live streams a week. So I'm gonna actually start doing a lot more baseball stuff on there. I love Whatnot.
So let's talk a little bit about this now, right? We've been like kind of teasing this in, like everybody kind of knows the legend.
Yeah.
It's cool for me, honestly, personally. I do this every now and then episodes where I get like, there's part of me where this is really fucking cool. You know, like I know when we originally set this up, we were talking to Jason. We were out. It's like, yo, Anthony's into this stuff. You guys are interested.
Yeah.
And I do my best not to have fanboy moments. And I'm like, holy fuck, dude, Anthony Ranaudo, like that's my guy. We talked, and then we were on the phone. I'm like, I just have to get this out of the way. You know, like I'm a huge fan of LSU baseball, and that was part of going down there and seeing that experience that you guys have. And just so much fucking respect for you as a baseball guy, knowing your path and knowing where you're coming from and knowing your story and stuff. So now we get to sit here and talk shit, chop it up.
I appreciate
And so
that.
your stories to me is really awesome because, and as I've learned from Jake, the starting pitchers in Major League Baseball and professional baseball usually deep thinkers. You guys got irons in the fire. You guys got shit going on.
There's a lot going on. Yeah, and
I'm a space cadet.
For sure. We have a ton of interest. You know, I'm on YouTube all the time trying to learn new skills or hobbies, whatever it is. So how did you? Obviously, we talked about how, you know, as a kid you had a collection, but what made you really like jump in and go all the way with your new shop, and kind of get this type of thing going?
Shout it out first. Where's it at?
Yeah, so it's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's called Cards and Culture. It's a collectible shop. All things collectible. I say if StockX had a retail shop, that would be us.
Right.
Like,
if they carry it, you carry it.
Exactly. So that's kind of what it is. Trading attention, right? Like the things that are most popular at that time, try to have a lot of that stuff, try to mix it up and make it a good experience for kids and fans, honestly. Just fans in general, because LSU has a huge fan base. And that was the biggest thing was, you know, we played, and if we went to go sign autographs or if we went to a hobby shop, a traditional hobby shop, it kind of has that dirty, older, smelly, you know, like vibe a little bit to it. I was like, let's change this up where the athlete wants to come in this spot and it's a great experience for people where they want to hang out in the shop, not get their cards and leave. So that's kind of where we came in and what made me want to do it. And at the time I was big on like the stock market, really understanding my own finances and buying and selling and that kind of stuff. And I was like, sports cards are like stocks of players. And if I know players, I know sports. I love basketball first and foremost, even more than baseball. And so that's what really got me into it. I just started like selling basketball cards and making money. I was like, this is really fun. I used to do it with shoes. I'd done it with art before, like selling art and things like that, buying art. I was like, shit. And I have a podcast too that I've been doing for 3 or 4 years. I was like, fuck it. Let's open up a store where it's a great experience and I sell some shit, you know, like where we can make some money, but I can invite people in, have podcast guests, you know, and invite, you know, small business owners, people around the town to come in and just talk shop. And it's kind of what it is.
So you guys are open for business on like Monday, like people just come in on the street. And then is it you got a team or?
So we got 4 employees. They're pretty badass. 5 employees, I think. And now we actually just kind of like looped in with these 2 girls that are creative videographers. And so we have like a media side of things where we're doing like,
That's huge.
And the culture side of things is big in Louisiana. So we do a lot of bar and food stuff where we make videos and content and things like that. So that's like the media side of the business and stuff too.
Now, what do you think the future looks like for you know, collectibles and trading cards? Do you think it's going to continue to rise the way it has, or is it going to kind of taper off a little bit? Because some of the stuff we just talked about, Justin Herbert that sold for $1.8 million. Like, and he's second year, third year, right?
It's crazy.
Third year, I think.
Like you would think that values on like Hall of Famers, guys that are retired, like those cards aren't going down in value.
Right.
But how risky is it to get involved with assets that are this expensive for guys that, you know, say he gets hurt, hopefully he doesn't, but if he ends up only playing 3, 4, 5 years, then you just paid $1.8 million for this card, and now it's worth.
It's more the speculative stuff that I think is scary.
$1,000?
Yeah, that's scary. But I think sports cards. I mean, if you look at the numbers, it's steadily grown consistently. There's a decline right now because there was such an influx during COVID and stuff. But I think it's going to continue to go up. Fanatics just took over all the licenses of all the major sports teams for sports cards. So they're going to be producing all the cards. They bought Topps. They bought Panini.
Fanatics going to run the world.
They're going to run the world. They got a monopoly on it.
So
and
that's what I brought up diamonds earlier, and I don't know the first thing about jewelry or anything like that, but Chief, you met him earlier. Is it Zales? Who's the big diamond company? One of them owns like 95% of diamonds in the world, and they just fucking stash them.
Oh, wow.
And they release different diamonds and artificially manipulate the price on the diamonds.
Well, and now you can make lab-made diamonds that are like flawless.
What are you nodding your head over?
Which
there
are
for?
which are
He's like, you get those for a deal.
Yeah,
I'm a
I
Jersey
think
guy.
diamonds for a
Down
deal.
on the shore, I got a guy.
they're not as valuable.
Jay's got a guy.
They're not
Jay's
as
got a
valuable
guy.
if they're made in a lab, but I mean, if I can spend $10,000 to get a flawless diamond, do you really care if it's made in a lab, or do you want it like found, from the earth?
I
Like,
mean,
does
it depends on why you want that diamond.
Sure.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah, are you trying to?
And is
fake
somebody
the
going to come
act-
check it too?
No,
Like, that's
exactly.
Am I trying to
like-
ball? Am I
yeah.
trying to ball out? Am I trying to get flossed up?
Well, you
for
see
my
Chad
trip to Miami?
Johnson.
Flossed.
During
Flossed,
Chad Johnson's
definitely,
career, he said, he admitted he wore fake jewelry. He wore
Really?
CZs all the time because he's like, people know I have money. They expect me to be wearing real diamonds.
Right.
Why do I need to fucking wear real diamonds? You think it's real, so it's real.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
That's funny.
Perception's
Yeah.
reality.
Right,
Yeah.
100%.
What-
Yeah.
What's it
It's
called?
what you
Cubic
think, yeah.
zirconium?
Yeah, zirconia.
Zirconia? That'll
Something
get
like
you.
Yeah.
Blood Diamond, good movie.
Blood Diamond
Yeah,
is
good
crazy.
movie.
Yeah, Leo.
Leo.
Hey,
Young
Leo.
Leo.
Let's
Leo,
ask you
real
real
big
quick:
dude.
Is Leo a dude?
Is he a dude?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
fuck,
he's a
here he is,
douche.
dude. Our fucking card collector came in today.
He brought your
All right,
cards
come
back.
here.
Oh my God, that's so great.
I don't even know this guy's name. This guy owns a
Yeah.
card shop, so we're sitting around here getting to do
Oh
the
my
show, and we're like, we
God.
should break some pegs. Do we have any? No. This guy on the north side of Chicago
That's incredible.
opened up the shop, let us come in and pick some out. So we got a bag coming in here,
I
special
forgot my cards.
delivery.
Hey, thanks for bringing them back, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
thanks a
amazing.
lot, man. What's the address again? You want to shout out real quick? Brotherhood? Where?
2028 West Montrose.
2028 West Montrose.
What's the name of the place?
Lead Sports Card.
Elite Sports Cards.
Elite
There it
Sports
is.
Cards.
Whose shoe was
2028
that in
West
the front?
Montrose.
That's like size
Had to
4.
be
Bad
Shaq.
Is it-
podcasting.
Okay,
Shaq.
it's
Shaq.
only one person.
Dude, we're
could be,
talking like
yeah.
a
right.
human
No, Mike.
foot can
Thanks
get
a lot,
that
dude.
big.
Appreciate
That's
it,
what
man.
I'm saying. That's crazy.
It's
How?
Yeah, we saw
It's
Shaquille
wild.
O'Neal foot today. Imprint.
Yeah.
You got a big foot like that. I mean, come on. You want me to say it?
24?
I'll say it.
we know.
We all know, yeah.
This guy's got big.
He's got heavy
Probably
hands.
about the size of me.
He got a big old pair of shorts.
Yeah,
A big pair of shorts. I'm Shaquille O'Neal.
he's packing heat.
That's a great voice. You have a good voice. You got complimented today on that in the Barstool
I
Chicago
did.
office on our
Yeah, that
snake
was
draft.
nice. Yeah, that was
So-
nice.
Dude,
Good
you have
job.
it's a good mic voice. It's good.
It's a very good mic
You do
voice,
too.
yeah.
I think everybody in here has got pretty good.
I'm
mics.
working
good.
on it.
It's funny that, well, you said you have a podcast, and now you do as well. But I think the two best podcast voice in here are the guys that aren't. That's not their main source
Yeah, of course.
income.
The guys who throw 97.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the guys that are genetically engineered to pitch on Friday nights while you and I are catching bullpens.
Yep.
Somebody's got to do it. But we
Friday
keep the
night,
charts. We're sharp. I'm in the front.
Right.
Yeah,
I needed
you guys
my
aren't
charts,
winning.
yeah.
You
I
guys
kept
aren't
charts
winning
on
without
Saturday.
Chart keepers.
Dude,
I was a
used
big
to-
Saturday chart guy.
My
Day
teammates would
after.
get mad at me because I'd make friends with guys on other teams and shit. I'd be
Really?
like,
You'd be shooting the
Yeah,
shit behind
no,
home
no,
plate.
Friday
I'd be like,
night
what the
plate,
fuck?
yeah.
bro, you guys go out, take BP.
Yeah,
And I go out, I pretend like I'm running polls.
that's great.
Just talk to
Just
guys.
fun,
Hey, you guys
yeah.
going out tonight?
That's
You
so
know,
great.
If you guys need anything, here's a number.
So you
know,
weren't
text us.
That's so great.
Like,
So
we're-
hey,
were the
as
facilitators, though.
fans, is that something you get mad about? Like when you see players talking to guys from the other team?
That's a
Because I
great
know there are.
No, I don't.
I think a lot of fans do. Like,
Oh,
fuck
yeah,
that.
dude.
Don't be
Like,
like. Don't.
you
That's
guys are
like,
enemies.
You know what, I
you
won't
know,
hold
like
back. Yeah,
like
dude,
20
like-
minutes before a game, you'll see like guys running sprints.
Fuck yeah.
Right, and they end up kind of in the shallow
Yeah, and you
center
just
field, and they
shoot the
talk
shit.
and they
Yeah.
they dap each other up. I think it's great.
No,
I think fans
okay.
would like it.
I
'cause-
think there is a line like what I absolutely fucking hated was when Derek Jeter did his retirement tour and everybody sucking him off with gifts at home plate. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
And the Yankees finished 4 games out of a playoff spot.
It's like, come on, man. This is like too much for me. But like shooting the shit like pregame.
Well, they're not doing that for pool holes, which
Not
Why?
as much.
I think
They
certain guys like you should do something like that for.
I disagree with that.
Like Mariano Rivera, they did stuff for
I
him,
hated
right?
it. I hated it.
But it's like
I hated
it's
it.
just an appreciation for. You don't like it at all.
No.
You don't like
There's
guys.
a time
to be,
and place for it. And as
And it's
the
not
White
before
Sox
the
don't give
game.
a flying fuck
Yeah, but
about
don't you think
Mariano
there's
Rivera.
something special about like peers respecting each other?
He-
like even if you compete against
But
them,
that,
Yeah.
I mean,
just an appreciation.
a
for
pregame
how-
ceremony.
When Yachty and Pujols got their stuff from the Cubs, I liked it. People did.
So if
but my
Mariano-
problem though is the Cubs won't bring back Sammy.
That
So I do. It's
also
like you have
an
to take
issue.
it. It's like I
they
do
want
think-
him to admit that he did steroids.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
that
but
he
like
did?
what Tom
Yeah.
Rickenson on the fucking
Just
team.
admit it then.
Yeah, but like why?
I would
why
So
do
take
he
they
my
have
still
to-
he
heels
still
too
has not
far.
admitted it.
Well, they don't. The Cubs don't own that leverage over him to be like, you better admit to your wrongdoing.
Right.
You know, he's like, all right,
He
you guys
doesn't
better
have to
admit
do
to
shit if he
yeah.
doesn't want to.
Wasn't
Right.
Glenn Allen Hill on their coaching staff recently? I know he's been in baseball still, like third base. But I mean, he was obviously juiced out of his fucking skull.
I think Sammy damaged a lot of relationships on the way out the door, and they want
Probably.
him to apologize and show forgiveness, and he won't do it. And the fans are like, we don't really give a fuck because if he rubbed some people the wrong way back then, you know, like you guys sucked.
Yeah.
You know, we've been showing up forever. And I don't mean like, okay, whatever. Dude, you guys lose in 2017. That was awesome. Down to the wire. You pitch a fucking good game in an elimination
Well, we
game
got
at home.
lucky. We got lucky to beat the Nationals in the division series.
David Ross picked somebody off.
Well, it was when Scherzer came in the game.
And you
like
guys
and
hit
they
him
had
around,
they had
yeah,
like
yeah.
a 3 or 4 run lead, and
I remember.
we got 5 off Scherzer,
Like right off the
Wow.
bat.
like right
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, where it was like,
You
that
know?
would, how the hell did that happen? Now, as a fan, no, dude,
And
hell
we were
yeah,
just- then
that's
we were
awesome. That's a
overmatched by
completely
the
Well, like, here's my
different
thing,
sentiment.
like-
but hold on, when you show up for 2-3 decades, Dave's known this. Dave's watched one playoff series or one playoff, 3 playoff series wins. They all came the same year. Like, there is this sentiment of like, at least fucking try. I mean, at least try. Now, this year at the Cubs, where they're at with payroll, I get it. I get that they have to rebuild. I get Jed's doing his own thing. He's inherited a mess. Now, if we're 2 years from now and their payroll is still 150, when it's clear there's money to spend and there's players available and they're just not doing it because they're not willing to spend what it takes, at the end of the day, it's like, oh, pitch, come here, it's nice, play at Wrigley. Like, all right, just cut the fucking check. Just cut the check, and then we'll talk about how
What do
nice
you
all the
think
soft
some of the
stuff is.
hesitation is? Because when you walk around Wrigleyville, you understand how much money they're printing.
It's
So it's like, well, like,
money
well,
factory, yeah.
You know, why wouldn't you just spend money?
Like, if Rizzo was like, yeah, I want $100 million,
Do
and
what the
you're like,
Dodgers
here's
do.
75, and you're like, all
Like,
right,
the
you're
Cubs
gonna
could do
over
that.
5 years.
Oh, they could.
And they should.
The baseball owners are the worst. They tried to not let Steve Cohen. I understand he's got his baggage from his business dealings elsewhere. I don't give a shit about that. That guy's a fan that bought the team as a toy that will just spend money,
yeah.
and make baseball decisions instead of
Yep.
financial ones. You know,
100%. Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
And we talk about like competitive imbalance all the time on our other show in baseball, and how like it's always the same handful of teams: the Dodgers, the Yankees, now
Yes.
the Mets.
You can immediately eliminate like 12 to 15 teams right
more
off
than
the bat.
that
for sure.
for every
Yep,
good
exactly.
free agent. If you want baseball to be at its best, you should have 30 teams competing
yes.
for the Bryce Harpers of the world. You
Correct,
know,
correct.
And these owners, you know, they buy the team, and it's business to them, and it's not good for the game.
100%.
It's not good.
But
for
like
the
they
game.
knew what they were getting into because they're billionaires outside of sports. So if you're going to get into that arena, like your only goal should be to win. And if you're if you're making however much profit and returns you are from,
But
your
maybe
other-
that's winning to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're business people. That's the thing.
yeah. But
that's
like
so
if you're
hard
gonna
to-
if you're gonna
That's
own
what
a
they all
sport-
say
if
about
you're
Jerry
gonna-
Reinsdorf.
If you're
Right?
gonna
You
own a
can't lose a
sports
contract
team though,
negotiation.
if you're gonna own a sports team, like I would take. But if you put a winning product on the field, you're not going to lose money.
True.
You see what I'm saying?
No, absolutely right.
If
you're
you're
absolutely right. Yeah.
100.
So and if I'm making $800 million from being a huge attorney or doing all these cases or whatever the business is, and you take a little bit of a loss on your sports team, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Does it really matter?
What's the difference? What's
But
the
sports
difference?
teams
That's what
also
I'm saying.
When you have
don't
that
lose
much
money
money.
either too. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, it's one of the best investments. Like, on a like
It is.
Each team, I know this. This was on like during the lockout and with all the new CBA negotiations this spring. Each team in baseball
I love that move.
is handed $100 million a year just by TV rights. Half
that-
the teams in
I'll take
baseball
it,
don't
yeah.
even carry a $50 million payroll.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
It's
gonna
like,
piss real quick.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah,
ownership,
100%.
the ownership stuff's interesting. Jake and I have talked a lot about it throughout the couple months we've been doing the show, and just like the way it's a different vibe. When he got in, we're tapped out here for a second. I'll speak on his behalf. But like when he got traded from the Orioles to the Cubs did have an environment where he could go to Theo and be like, "This is what I want, and this is what I wasn't getting from the Orioles,
Right.
and this is what I want in this moment." And they were like, "Sure," and go.
Let me know.
Yeah.
And Sonny Gray talked about it in our last interview when he was with the Yankees. And we didn't say specifically, but there's organizations that he's played with where it's like, this is what we expect from you. These are the numbers, and you're going to fit into this thing. And it's like, well, wait a second. Why can't I just go fucking be myself?
Right.
And then you go to different teams. You go to the Reds, and
And
it's
it
like,
clicks.
there's Derek Johnson sitting there. I don't know if that's a team. It's like a cultural thing that exists within a team where it's like,
Yep.
you can be this person. I think Jerry Reinsdorf, for all of his flaws, does have some like enabling positive traits where it's like, if you're one of his guys, you're empowered to go run and do your
Definitely,
shit.
definitely.
So like Robin Ventura maybe wasn't a great manager, but it is a great situation if Robin Ventura is showing up with a ton of fucking job security and feeling good about the decision he's making, whether or not they're good or bad
We
decisions.
talked to Bill Melton about. Do you even know who Bill Melton is?
I don't know.
Do
that.
I know who Bill Melton
No,
is?
Anthony. But Bill Melton, he could hit the ball to the fucking moon. Okay. Just a lumberjack. He was on the 1983 Sox. He still does post game shit. He's been around forever. And if you ever talk to guys like that, they all swear by Jerry Reinsdorf. On a human
the guys that are
level,
close to him are like, that's my guy, ride or die. But then
But as a fan, I'm like,
right, it's hard. It's
$73 million deal is the highest
that's
deal
crazy.
you've ever fucking given out, and you're in a
really
major
hard.
market?
That's really hard to swallow. Like,
As
my
a fan,
my
yes.
jaw was like, that can't be right.
4
Like,
years,
it's crazy.
$73 million for Yasmani Grandal.
And
Biggest
it's
ever.
Yasmani Grandal. Like, I
Good
love,
player.
I love
Yeah,
Yaz. Like,
yeah.
he's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
That's why I
that's
think-
the biggest contract.
That's why I think that Sox fans are
Yeah.
at their breaking point.
Right.
And they
Rightfully
always,
so.
and they
Rightfully
always
so
try
when
to
I heard
say,
that.
like, oh, we've offered $100 million. It could, like, I could offer Bryce Harper $100 million. I know that's not going to do anything.
Right, exactly.
In the same
Yeah,
respect,
he
look at the
needs 3
Astros.
of those. Yeah.
All right, so when the Astros hire Lunau, they're just like, you fucking go run and do whatever you want to do. And you build this culture. And so now players have a sense of when you go in and you're playing for the Astros, it's like, all right, I would feel like I'm playing quarterback for Texas Tech. I'd feel like I'm going into a system where it's like, dude, all you have to do is do what they tell you to do, and you're going to be awesome.
Exactly.
It's the fucking Astros.
It's a system, yeah.
And so they've kind of created this culture. But if you're a player
right.
that's like, hey, I want to feel myself, like this is how I go about my shit. I don't know. Maybe Houston isn't a place.
Yeah.
Isn't a place for you. And if
Here's
you
a
want to get
question
paid
for
as
you.
a position player, it's definitely not a place for you.
Correct.
They just don't do that. So you're going to get the Michael Brantleys, and you're going to get the, like this more fourth quarter veteran signings at like good deals and shit.
Yeah.
But like, I'll be stunned if the Astros come in and it's like, oh, did you see? And obviously they don't have to because their development system's so fucking good.
It's incredible, yeah.
But it goes back. The high-level ownership part of how much influence an ownership group has over a culture and a team.
I think it's, yeah.
Like, because Max Scherzer gets $40 million, it's not just the $40 million. It's like, here's $40 million, and it's your team now.
Right.
So how do you think do you think he's had a bigger impact in those 4 days he's not pitching too? Fuck yeah,
Yeah,
man.
100%. Yep.
Talking about like Scherzer?
Mad Dog?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like, because if Steve Cohen's giving him that check
can
and
I have
being
one of
like,
those?
yeah, absolutely. If Steve Cohen's cutting a massive check, hey, here you go.
He
Here's
provides
$40
so
million.
much more than just how he performs on Star Day.
No, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about signing those guys that have that role too, and that comes from the culture in the top.
Who's the Phillies owner? They sending you like a private jet and shit, like bring
He
your
actually
family
did.
out,
Yeah, he did.
steaks.
He did.
Yo,
I
this
heard
is
the
how
Sox
bad we
did not
want.
do that for Manny Machado when they brought him in. Swear to God.
You
What's
got to
the-
get him a jet.
You have
Really?
to.
What's the
you're
core-
paying, you're
what?
paying $20,000 for that fucking jet.
Okay.
I got a question for you, and I hope that we're on the same page.
John
with this.
Middleton.
Yeah.
I was going
One
to say
of the Phillies.
Clentak. That's obviously not who it is. That
He's
was
a
the GM.
GM.
Yeah. So I was talking to a White Sox player. This a handful of years ago, and he was kind of breaking down, and he was more of a 4A guy, like fringe guy, and he said that this was after the Machado Harper offseason, so this is 2-3 years ago.
Fringe.
And he said that the Tampa Bay Rays, because he was playing in Charlotte at the time, and he got to know a bunch of players on the Durham Bulls.
Yeah.
When they still are, right, for Tampa.
I think so.
And he's like, the moment that you could be a non-drafted guy, a $10,000 senior sign that is filling innings, but the moment that you're in the Rays system, you have 2 hours after every game, and you are picking up stealing signs from not just the other pitcher. You're watching the big league tape, watching how they are like
What?
if they're tipping pitches and
yeah.
shit like that.
They would make them
and
do
that's
that?
beaten into their brain.
That's a
from
skill that you
low
need
A
to have.
Wow.
up
You
through the
need to
major
have that.
leagues.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's what he told me. He's like, we would be drinking beers like with Durham Bulls players after games, and he's like, Charlotte Knights games end,
Yeah.
and you just see you later.
Yeah, we're
Well,
gonna,
that's
yeah.
one of those
I thought-
separators that can.
I didn't know
I mean, the
that.
Get
Rays
you
are
to
an
the big
outlier
leagues.
because they
Right.
can't
You know what I
rely
mean?
on
Or keep you
financial
around
might,
there, and they're like, all right,
They
so
gotta
what's
find
up with
ways
this
to
guy?
do
Or
it.
like,
If-
hey, I
if
just
you-
got to the big leagues, and oh, by the way.
If you can find a tell from a guy, like if he's
Some guys just, like
if
you
he's
said, it's a skill.
heavy in his glove like this on breaking stuff, like if you're paying attention to that, like think about how much easier hitting is the hardest thing to do in sports. It's debatable, but it's if not the hardest, one of the most.
Come on.
And if and it happens a lot. I would see position players in the dugout talking to each other. Hey, he's doing this on a changeup, or his elbow goes out. He's tucked in nice and tight on a fastball. I mean, if you know what's coming, you don't necessarily know the location it's going to be in. But when you can get ready for that velocity, it makes hitting a lot easier.
What if someone brought you a tip?
It makes
What if
it-
Zobrist
Yeah.
went up to you and said, hey, dude, Jake, by the way, I saw this. Would you want that from
All
your
the-
teammates?
Yes.
yeah.
You would
Would-
almost
and it
ask
ha-
guys to be like, hey, do you see
Yep,
anything? Like,
yep.
I'm-
Because-
my
Oh, hey,
curveball's
what about
getting
this?
hit.
What about this? Would you give up give up 3 doubles at it and come back in and be
Yeah,
like,
they got my shit. Yes.
They got to be seeing it, right?
Would
see-
you
you've seen
ever
it.
bait them with like a fake
Oh,
tell?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if I
That's
was
the pitch and
if I
catch,
was
yeah.
getting feedback from players or people around the league or our scouts, like, hey, you're doing this, because we would have video guys that sat in the video room and their only job was to look for tells like that. The Cubs would hire guys. Every team's the same way. And I'd get some feedback from them.
job,
Sometimes I'd say I was in the video room watching some stuff for my next start, and one of those guys is next to me, and I'd be like, hey, do you see anything? What are the, like, what's the book on me? So you're trying to figure out what teams are talking about in those meetings about you, like what
Cat
are they
and mouse
looking what are they
teams or-
looking
Yeah,
for?
yeah,
And obviously,
exactly.
they're talking about your times of the plate and like
Yep.
when they're going to take opportunities to steal bases.
That
You
to
know.
me is what I loved about baseball. And
Yeah.
people ask me, like, basketball was my first love, but that's what made me love baseball. Is when I got to college and I was like, holy shit, there's a whole different level to this cat and
Oh,
mouse
that
shit.
first
It's a
practice, your
thinking
first
man's
practice
game.
at college
There's
when you go see
yeah.
all
Yeah,
the
right?
good players together, and you're
oh,
like,
fuck.
whoa.
Yeah, this is
like
different.
those infielders are pretty fucking
There's-
good.
there's-
man.
a lot of other
20
big guys out here like
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
There's 20 people looking at, everyone's looking at something different. Like you're watching someone's watching the third base coach. Somebody's watching the bench coach. Like,
Yep.
what signs is he giving?
Yep.
Someone's watching the starting pitcher. Like, where's his glove? What are his hands doing? Any little bits of information you can pick up, and that's none of that is cheating. That's like if
Oh,
you're
no,
if you're
no,
if you, yeah
that's
right
gamesmanship.
That's a
right, but
skill.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, if you're going to give us the information, we're going to take advantage of it.
Fuck yeah.
100%.
And then I would just want to
100%.
turn my brain off on the mound. And we've talked about this with like heat maps or like how much scouting report, how much information do you want beforehand? And like
Yeah.
a lot of the guys we've talked to are like, you know what? I want to know where like the big danger spots are.
Right.
Otherwise, no, dude.
Yeah.
Like I just have to execute my shit. The information overload.
That-
Because it's
it
like,
can
dude,
be.
if
It's
I'm-
Well, you
100%.
would, like, when you're getting ready for a series, you get those packets of information, and it's hot and cold maps.
Yeah.
It's all these stats. Like, I wanted to know, is this guy going to swing first pitch? What's his first pitch swing percentage? No one on base, guys on base.
Yep.
Will he swing in a breaking ball first pitch?
Yep.
Where's his slug? Like,
Yep.
I want to pitch away. If you give up singles here and there, that's okay.
Yeah.
I want to pitch away from damage. And that's really ultimately all I cared about.
I love that. Yeah, I was so new. I was a 4A guy pretty much my whole career. I really was. I was up and down. Like, what did you like that term?
well, I mean, it's funny because
I just don't like saying quadruple.
I know because like one
It's
thing
too
I've
many
learned from doing the
syllables.
show with Jake is like that's something where Dave and I have been doing these baseball shows forever. It's I'm like, well, that fucking guy's 4A fringe or
Yeah.
whatever. And now just doing the shows with Jake, I've been like, maybe I should tighten the language up a little bit. Like the way I would talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Tommy LaStella.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it's just stuff that like
Yeah,
I
I
got to
get
level
it.
up a little bit. It's not to say I'm diminishing my opinions.
Well, it's
just
not
the
necessarily-
presentation. So now Dave coming in here casually, just like fringe
Yeah.
4A guy, and that's why I'm just giggling because I know Jake sitting here being like. That fringe 4A guy's a big leaguer.
Yeah.
I'm not
And
trying
it's
to
not-
say
Right,
no,
right.
but
there's
and
so
that-
much weeding out that goes on
Yes.
throughout.
And I get where
Yeah.
you're coming
You
from.
know.
You're not shitting on anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this has been one of my experiences sitting in the
Right.
chair as a Barstool Sports blogger who's now working with a Cy Young winner who's like, yeah,
I don't know if
like
you've
that
noticed it.
fringe, big league, like one of the
He was
best
a-
players in the world. So
And it
It's
doesn't always have to
very,
come off
very
as like
rare.
a disrespectful thing.
Right.
No.
But, you know,
it's just a funny,
it's
casually being like,
It's a
yeah,
funny
4A
fact.
guy.
Yeah, I like that,
4A
yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Whatever. 4A
And
guy.
there's
For the
there's
record, he is a big leaguer elsewhere right now. He's been on.
Just qualify
Yeah.
it. D3
Yeah.
bullpen. Like I wasn't good.
I
either.
was a bum.
Yeah, so
I
like
played
I
D3
know
ball.
who I
Yeah,
am when I'm
that's-
saying this stuff.
Yeah.
I like to say that too.
But
And I'm like
it's-
sitting here with Jake. I don't want to be sharing stories. I'm like, I have like 15 career starts. He's got 500. You know,
Bro,
like
Right.
first inning LSU. You strike out the first guy grounds out, next guy strikes out, and the second guy's coming in, and the third guy's walking up.
Oh, this is
And he's like,
I can't wait to hear this.
and he was like, "Whoa, what do we got?" And he's just shaking his head. He's like, "It doesn't matter." And he's like getting in the dugout, and he's racking his bat and putting his helmet. He goes, "I think it was a fucking slider. We're fucked, guys."
Yeah, I don't know.
It was so funny. He was like, "We are so fucked tonight."
And I was
Because
telling
we
the next
just
guy
got
to
done
get up and be
playing,
like,
yeah,
"Come on, you're
come on,
next.
let's
You're
go."
next. Let's
we just got
go."
done
Keep
playing
it
like
going.
Ivy League schools or whatever.
got
Like we were playing like
places
Southern
to be,
Missouri
people to
State.
see.
well, you know you're fucked when you're not sure what the pitch was.
Right? Yeah,
Right. I
right.
don't
You
know,
definitely
dude.
know.
It was so
It's gonna be a long
hard.
night.
It went that
so
way. I
hard.
don't know.
Took a left turn here.
But then that's good
Yeah.
perspective for me is like those are my experiences with you, and then you come in, you're like, well, I don't want to say something. It's
Right.
like out of the respect. And then Jake would have the same thing to say if we were sitting there with fucking Clemens.
Right.
You know, and like you
Yeah,
just go
there's
up
always
the
level,
ladder
yeah.
and like it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get to these cards. It's like, but then you guys can pull a card and we can all be little kids about it.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like, oh, dude, it's an O'Neill
Yes.
Cruz.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all-
Yes.
Yeah.
Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Guys, we know how important mental health is, especially sitting here with some pictures. You guys are on a mound alone under the spotlight, being
Went through some tough times.
so many people
So
have so many
alone.
opinions. Wow, this guy sucks. We drafted
I
him.
got some good stories.
And what we drafted him at this round, you see this guy in the next round, and then just people just say this shit to you. Meantime, you guys got to go out and perform.
Yeah.
And it's not just being a starting pitcher. A lot of guys, me, I got to go write the blogs. White Sox Dave's got to go out, got to build the audience. You know, a lot of guys out there struggling. And like when I was in sales and insurance and stuff, you're just trying to be the best you can. And it's hard. It's very hard. But what helps is taking care of mental health and being able to focus every day and being important and focusing in on the zone. Getting in the zone.
Getting in the
baby.
zone.
That was you first inning.
That's it.
Second,
That's it,
third.
right.
Every
The
time
whole
I've
day.
seen you, Anthony, you've been in the zone. My personal experience with therapy, you guys should know this. I need it. I love it. It makes me balanced.
You need somebody to talk to,
Thank you, Jake.
right? And yeah, I'm glad.
Because
you
I don't
have
want to
somebody.
burden you too often.
I'm
As a
here-
loved
I'm here
one.
for you.
I know,
Therapy's
but like,
great.
but a professional helps. It's just a different quality conversation.
It's true.
When you're ready to feel at the top of your mental health game,
I got my own.
therapy can get you there. Visit BetterHelp.com/starting today to get 10% off your first month. We're giving away discounts on high quality mental health. That's
Wow.
better, HELP.com/starting, 10% off your first month. If you're following this in audio version, it'd be a good time to switch over to YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page, people love that. Our YouTube page. We haven't done the content yet. We'll be out doing the golf and the
It's
fishing.
coming.
Relax.
It's coming.
It's the middle of fucking season. You think like, hey, Bryce, you got a second? Relax, guys.
It's hard to get guys to commit to stuff, and
I didn't
I get
know
it.
until we were like doing it. It's
Well, you know,
I
like
got
the
a
Sonny
half
Gray
hour
thing.
here.
He's in the lobby of the hotel after a meeting with MLB at the headquarters. It's like, you know,
hard.
and you know, we had Jordan Montgomery a couple hours before the game in the
That was a
fucking
weird
equipment
trade, by the
room. In the equipment room,
We
like,
talked
dude, where
in the
are,
equipment.
like,
15
where
minutes
are you?
before he got traded. We like
Yeah.
hung up the
What?
phone and are in the
Yeah.
process of doing the follow-up text.
That's
Like, hey,
pretty
it was
wild.
good. Like, thanks for coming on the show.
And then he
Like,
goes to
good luck
St.
the
Louis and
Yankees.
shoves.
And the whole interview was about
Oh, yeah,
being
he's
a
been
Yankee,
shoving.
winning the World Series for the Yankees,
No.
pitching for the
No.
Yankees. Oh, dude, it was.
That's
we laid it
incredible.
on so thick. I had all
Like
these
how much he
Yankee
loves the
questions.
Yankees
Yeah.
and stuff. It's like, damn, he just got traded.
They were like, we can't use any
5-0
of
with
that,
the
yeah.
147.
Shoving.
Yeah.
I threw some money down on him the other night.
And you know
I-
what? He threw his four-seam fastball 2% of the time with the Yankees. It
crazy.
almost was like if it was 3-0 to the bottom of the order, they'd let
Right.
him throw a four-seam, and now he's throwing it like 33, 40.
Yeah, I
something,
saw that.
something
It's
crazy, and he's
crazy.
just dominating.
That's great.
Um,
I love shit like that. I love seeing that.
If
Yeah,
you're watching
yeah.
our YouTube page, we're gonna break some packs now. This is where the expertise
We're gonna
comes
see
into
if
play.
we can hit anything good. We've
I'm
got
gonna do
boxes.
a little play-by-play on this.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
got boxes of
can tell
2021 Bowman Chrome. There's supposed to be 2 autos in each box.
So you don't want to open any?
Yeah, I'm gonna
We'll see
open a
what
couple
happens.
while
I'll give you
we're,
some packs, and
yeah.
we're gonna talk through
Yeah,
this.
we're
and,
gonna talk it out.
you know.
Because as these players come up, I want to hear, there's
And
gonna be
while
a couple stories.
while we're opening these up, we can talk about. We didn't really get into the rule changes much. We
All
talked
right.
about
I
maybe
was
the pitch
upset
clock,
because fucking holding runners.
but let's go through that.
So bigger bases are probably the easiest ones to do, and I love bigger bases. I think that's a slam dunk. The only thing that could potentially get in the way, people would say, you're 3 inches closer, or I should say, because they're 18-inch bases, and they're 15-inch bases now, they're 18-inch bases
So it's an
now.
inch and a half.
So it's an inch and a half.
Yep.
Thank you, Dave.
It's a
What?
game of inches, obviously.
However-
Inch and a half each side.
However, the first baseman is also stretching an inch and a half closer. The ball
Didn't
is
think of it
traveling
like
faster than the runner is running.
Yep.
So I do think there's bang bang, but I do think the game is still just as symmetrical as always.
That's a good call. I did read that. Where were they trying this in like the fucking indie ball or some shit?
And like the lower levels and stuff like that. Yeah.
Stolen bases have skyrocketed as well as batting
I
average.
think it was like
so
20% more stolen bases, or 30.
That's a shit ton.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Well, you know how close plays are
At bang
on
bang.
stolen
They
bases.
talk about
blows my
football
mind,
being
yeah.
a game of
and
inches.
and when you slow it down sometimes in the replay, it's so close it's hard to even tell when you have it frame by frame.
I think an umpire's job is like at first base or whatever is one of the most impressive things to do. To get those calls right at the percentage that they do.
you got to use like every sense basically.
That's crazy. It's
Hearing.
so nuts.
And
Yeah,
a lot
and I
of
think
them
umpires-
use like the sound, right?
Right.
They'll hear like, okay,
Really?
does the foot or the
Yeah.
ball hit first? And you're obviously looking at it.
Right. Ooh,
But
I
man-
got an auto.
These
Okay,
are
got
fucking
one of
nice
our
cards
autos.
here,
Let's
guys.
see.
I don't know any of the
Have you ever
names other
pulled a
than
card of
Alex
yourself?
Thomas. Shout out my
2016.
Dude,
Yeah, so what we did that one day is we bought like my rookie year set just to do it like with our people and stuff. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Like we got like 2 or 3 of me in there.
you go.
It was fun. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to tell you, I got one. Alec Thomas. I like Alec Thomas. Outfielder,
That's a
Arizona
Southside guy.
Diamondbacks. And yeah, Dave, why do I like him? Because he's a Southside guy.
He is from I want to say he's from Lockport, but he went to Mount Carmel.
He went to Mount Carmel High School, home of Frank Leonard.
Is that Jaden Hill right there? That next one in that purple.
And Donovan McNabb, amongst others.
So, who is the coolest teammate you played with, or the most not coolest, but the most dude-like that took your breath away? You said,
that's a
holy
good
fuck,
one.
did you have guys where you go, whoa, I'm teammates with this guy now?
David Ortiz was one for me that I was like, that was cool.
yeah.
That
Great
was
answer.
cool.
How sweet is he?
He's the man.
He's a sweet dude.
So I mean,
I got to dab up Poppy at the All-Star game. It
Big
was
Poppy
amazing.
pretty well, and you got to have a little conversation with him, in LA during the All-Star game.
Dab
He
it
was
up
And
Poppy.
he looks as good as he ever has.
yeah.
Like physically, how good does he look?
And we've
He
talked
does.
about this before. You can't try and kill Poppy. You will die.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
quite
what
literally.
a fucking idiot!
Yeah.
You're gonna try and shoot Poppy.
In his home, in
Yeah,
the
no,
Dominican,
oh,
that's-
in
yeah.
this country. That was wild.
You're not gonna last very long.
Yeah.
All right, so what else we got
He's
here on
royalty
these
in
cards
that
here,
country.
guys?
I'm not
I
pulling
got
anything
nothing.
right
Yeah,
now.
I got nothing. I got a cool auto.
So this happens. This is going
I
to
got a
happen to you
Jason
guys.
Dominguez. Jason Dominguez. People.
I got
like him
a
lot.
Chris Bubick.
He's
signed.
tooled up.
All right,
Do you
here's
like
the
that?
scouting
Rookie.
report
Tooled
on
up?
Chris
Yeah, I like that
Bubik,
one.
then.
Tooled up. I
The
like that.
Kansas
Tooled
City
up.
Rose.
What do they call him,
lefty,
the
right?
Martian?
The Martian.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Is it the Martian?
I believe that's his nickname already.
Something. Yeah.
Who,
Jason Dominguez.
Jason Dominguez.
Oh, really?
Yankees
the
prospect.
young prospect.
All right, so Logan, I got a Logan Gilbert. Is he not a rookie?
He is absolutely fucking filthy. But
Well, and he's-
he
Can you
is
hand me one of those
This is his
basketball
first.
Please.
This is his first season, right?
Breaking cards, crushing beers.
That's it. It
I mean,
seems
hey,
like, right?
Is this?
That's perfect.
He's a
Thank
rookie,
you.
correct?
Yeah, he's a rookie.
Why is this not a rookie card?
No, Logan Gilbert's not a rookie.
It's his second year.
I'm pretty sure it's his second or third.
That's
I
why
wanna
it's not a
say.
fucking rookie card.
I
Jake.
guess I got to pay attention.
I mean, jeez.
what
Jorge
baseball-
Soler. All right. Tell me a
baseball
Jorge
is hard.
Soler story. Here's a Jorge Soler card. There's a fucking name
He can
for
hit
you.
the ball to the moon.
Jorge Soler.
I never played with him.
Oh my god.
How big was that hammer? That dude.
Yeah, it's his second year.
Well, I just say I didn't want to shower with him. Let's say that.
Okay.
Jorge Soler slanging.
Yeah.
Well, you say it like that, you
He had
make it
his own-
sound like Jorge Soler's like eyeing your butt cheeks down.
No, not that. He just.
This makes you.
he
Oh,
has-
it's Shea Langelier's Braves one. That's legit. I fucking love this dude.
let me see.
I don't know who that
He
is.
went
Who's
to
that?
Baylor.
Shea Langlier's was
Baylor.
a Baylor
Catcher.
big prospect,
Yeah.
catching prospect, plays outfield. He was
nice.
in the Matt Olson trade.
He's really
he was like
struggled.
the centerpiece of the Matt Olson
Oh,
trade.
nice.
Yeah, he's really struggled this year though.
But I like him.
And he knows-
He's known as a defensive
He's a
guy.
nice
though.
guy.
Is he, David?
Yeah.
A Brett Beatty? See, this keeps you young, guys. This keeps us
I'm
young
on the
as we peel
basketball
back
over
these
here.
cards.
Trying some basketball luck. Let's see what we got.
we got any numbered cards yet?
Mine was a numbered auto. I have.
Wait.
a numbered
What does
auto.
that mean?
Did you
Just
play
like
with
one
Jake
of-
Peavy?
So I could
A
say.
finite
Well, so
amount?
I just got a
Spring training.
Luis
Yeah, but not-
Rodriguez. I think
Not
he's a
during the
rookie.
season. He was traded right before. I
Rookie
got
for the
called up.
Dodgers.
This is all over the place right
This,
now.
I mean, I'm assuming since it's the Dodgers, I'm assuming this guy's going to be a fucking
Ooh,
stud.
is that
This
is that out of 10?
It's at a 75.
Oh, okay.
We need to get this organized for a second. I
But
need
it's
one
still
guy to
pretty
go at a
good.
time here.
Like some of these guys. So this is Malvin Valdez. It's a first Bowman rookie. He's with the Reds. I don't know him. Could be
But like,
great.
what is first Bowman?
First
even
Bowman
mean?
it's like, from what I've grown to understand, it's the most attractive like rookie card.
Yeah,
Okay.
For baseball.
Is the first Bowman's, yes, for baseball.
What'd you say his
And then
name
the
was?
Chrome.
His name is Malvin, Malvin Valdez.
They have a paper version of these, and they're not as valuable.
Right.
So the Chrome ones are the ones that are.
Okay, so
for
we're
some
holding
reason-
these chrome cards. These feel expensive.
Yeah.
They're dense cards.
Well, for the money you spend and what they're charging, they need to be a little bit higher end.
Does it matter what team you play for? Like, like O'Neal Cruz is awesome, but does it
Yeah.
hurt that he plays for the Pirates?
Not
first?
well.
Not right now, and for his like rookie cards, but like when he gets older, yeah, it'll probably
Right.
it'll matter
Why did these look dated? I just keep seeing statistics from 2019.
because those are probably
Probably their
What year is
best, maybe their best numbers.
Well, these are their prospect cards too.
Who writes up the description? I would like to do that.
I would
That's a
like
good
to know
job.
that.
Somebody,
too.
I don't know.
We were at the card shop, and the guy brought out the Babe Ruth rookie or the Mickey Mantle 1951 rookie card, and you flip it over, and it's like, well, I wonder what the back of a 1951 baseball
Yeah,
card
right.
is.
Like, what could
and
you-
it's
What
this,
did it
and
say?
it's like a paragraph that's like, this young whippersnapper is the biggest,
Yep. Yep.
surprise going into the 1951 season, and the Yankees are hot on him after he had over 400 in AAA. It's like,
Oh,
man, dude, being a baseball fan back then had to be so awesome.
Can you imagine?
You show up there like, this guy's super, Now it's just like, I tell you what I would do different. I would hit this guy here. There is this movement in baseball fans where it's like,
Everybody's an expert because of
Look at this
Fangraphs.
NBA
That's
player.
true.
Yeah, everybody's
Yeah.
an expert.
Fuck,
Well, this
man.
guy's a 5'4"
Look at that
player,
NBA
so he's
player.
better.
who the fuck is
Who is
this guy?
that guy?
Wang Zizi is
I would have if.
Young,
the
young
first player
prospects.
born in China to play in the NBA. We're not doing NBA cards.
Wow, sorry, I opened. I got
did.
my
This guy-
child.
You guys are addicts.
Yeah, the child in me came out. I've had a few beers now.
Yeah.
And you were a basketball player
I was a basketball player growing up. Yeah,
in Jersey too.
In
Is a big
Jersey.
fucking deal.
That was nice.
Those guys don't
threw
play.
down some dunks.
They didn't know pussy basketball.
Yeah. So what are you? Are you 6'7"? You're a
6'7".
large human.
6'7".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
That's-
feel as big as you are?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. But no, I don't. Sometimes I see other 6'7" people, and I'm like, do I
guy's a
look
fucking monster.
Do I look that
Yeah.
big? Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. So I don't know.
When I did
So
the
what
first
are
pitch
we
that-
looking for? Can someone rip a big car with you?
All right, so
Yeah,
we're
right?
looking.
We need
we're
some
looking.
good energy. We got
Fucking
nothing.
camera, boys.
And Dave, you got to look this up. Look up Luis Rodriguez with the Dodgers. So that's his first Bowman. It's out of 75.
What
You
year's
know,
this card?
This is 2021.
Yeah. Let's see who this kid is.
this baby gets a
When did he
sleeve.
sign? Does it say?
What does it say on the back? Right
It says skills, 5 tool.
That's not what we're asking for.
Who says that? These baseball cards, 5 tools.
Stats not available. Let's see.
Who had the best tool of anybody you played with?
The best
The
tool.
single best tool.
Say it again.
Teammate.
What was the question?
Teammate
Single
or guy
best
you
tool.
played again. No, yeah, teammate. Because you see them every day. You fucking that guy.
Let me ponder this
Yeah, you
momentarily.
You ponder. I like a run tool. I think when you see a cool run, like especially a right-handed hitter that can run really well, like Trey Turner.
Nice.
How the fuck?
It's $150
Okay.
right now,
All right.
which is nice.
And we should. How much?
That is
How
nice.
much
I
money
mean,
does
each
one of
box-
these boxes cost?
I think it was 320 for the box.
Is this
Nice.
one box I'm holding?
That's one box, and he took care
How many
of us.
boxes
He
did you buy?
gave us a small discount. I bought, I think, 6 to 8 of these boxes.
Yeah.
You might have someone with
That's
this
a solid-
Luis Rodriguez
Yeah,
cast.
he's-
Hey, starting 9
Yeah.
podcast. Is
149
Keep those ad
for-
reads coming,
sorry.
boys.
Sorry,
He's not in their
149
top 30, but I mean, their top 30 is probably
Yeah.
a fucking
Their
their
top
30th
30 is
guys.
crazy.
Yeah. Top prospect.
So when you
on
guys
most other
break
orders.
packs in the shop and you guys do this stuff, will you guys like record a show and just hang out with people, or?
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
we'll
so
just
when
like,
you do it on Whatnot, are you people are buying spots for certain teams or whatever?
Yep.
Is that how that goes?
We do different ones. Like sometimes we do mystery slabs and stuff too. So it'll be like we'll have 25 graded cards in like mystery bags or whatever.
Yeah.
And you bid on the spot. And we'll say, look, like there's one card in there that's worth $500 or $1,000, right? But every other card is probably anywhere from 20 to 50. So people bid on the spots, usually in between 20 and 50 bucks. You know,
It's like
knowing,
Storage Wars.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
then, and we'll like pull them
What a
out, right?
great
And
show.
the
It is a good show.
and the shit it'll like hype up as it goes, and like if nobody gets the car.
It's like
So.
good shitty daytime TV.
Yeah,
like
it's-
Pawn Stars.
It's,
That's-
fu-
yeah,
it's
it's
funny
exactly-
shit,
yep.
man. And the
That's-
way they fight and shit.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
I like Pawn Stars too. Just
I love Pawn
randomly
Stars.
watching Pawn Stars.
Pawn Stars is awesome. That's
You'll learn a lot
My
in
shop
Pawn
is kind of
Stars,
like that.
too.
I'm telling you, like people come in, they're like, "Hey, how much? Like, can you
See,
buy
that's what
this?"
I was gonna. I was
It's
gonna bring
fun.
up Pawn Stars earlier because like half the episodes are all like, I'm buying this for myself.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you make money if you're just
Yeah.
buying everything for yourself?
So
you
will
know?
you see? Will somebody come into your shop and want to sell something that's obscure, but you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I know there's value there, so I'll potentially buy it.
100% happens
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah,
How
I
do
love
you
it.
haggle? Haggle
said-
with me right now. Like, how
All
do
right,
you,
yeah, let's go. What do you try to
you
sell
know
me that
what?
beer?
Nah.
Sell me this pen.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm
Yeah,
bad.
Sell me this pen.
I'm actually so competitive. I don't even like hypothetical. Like,
Okay.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
see, even you just saying that, it's like, what are you fucking with
Yeah.
me? No, because I know you're gonna swindle me. But like, what does normally happen? What say I come in? Like, what do you
Yeah.
expect? What's the first play someone makes? Hey,
Like, if you
can
just
you
walk
come
in?
down at all?
Like if they're
Hey,
trying
you
to buy it, like,
flexible? Yeah, what do they
that's
say?
it. Yeah, you got any room on that?
Any room on
yeah,
that?
that's. And I'm like, are you paying cash or card? You know, like try to just start the negotiations that way to let people know I'm open to different things or whatever. And then I think the word gets around too, like, hey, you can go over there and you can negotiate, you can haggle, you know, that kind of shit. So I like it. I like when people come in. I'm like, nah, I
gotta
can't
be
do
kind of a rush a
regulated
little
at all?
bit.
Is
Oh,
there
that's what I'm
like,
saying. It's an
yeah.
adrenaline rush for me. And I like too is like when somebody comes in, so somebody will come in and sell me, they'll bring in their Pokemon collection, right? And I'll know it's worth, you know, $500. I'll try to get a good deal on it or whatever. Buy it for $250 and then go flip it later that day or next week or whatever for $550, $600, something like that. And that's my rush. That's
right.
what I like doing.
And people, when they bring in stuff to sell, it's like when you're selling a house, you always think it's worth more than it is because it's your house.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to be willing to come off your price a little bit. Like you can't have too much pride behind a card that you have because, you know, frankly, like Anthony's got to make money on that too. He's not gonna pay a premium for it and then try and turn around and maybe sell it for exactly what you bought it
What's
for.
the most you've ever got burned on anything?
Ooh.
That's a
I
good
recently
question.
just took an L, big L, like 20 grand L. So I bought a Serena card at the height of a Serena Williams card at the height of everything, like when the card market was going, and it was a good play. It was a good play. It was just the wrong time. It was just the wrong timing. So I overpaid for it, and I wound up selling it recently at probably its proper price where it settled, you know. So I'm like, whatever. But I took a 20K loss.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
Shit
you win
happens.
some, you lose some.
But that's what I'm saying. You win and lose, and that's the beauty of it, right? Like
Yeah, I got
learned it's
I got a bonus
Exactly.
from
Gambling,
Barstool
yeah.
one year, and then I put all of it in pen stock.
Yeah, I did that last year.
Still hold
Hey, that's
steady,
it.
boys.
Hold-
I still
Stocks
got
only
those
go up.
shares.
Stocks
All right,
only
I didn't
go
say
up.
it was a bad thing. I'm a big investor in Barstool personally, but it's just one of those things, you know. Whatever.
I bought in. I put 7,800 in, which is a lot of money to me.
Yeah,
And
a lot of
I
money.
bought in at 104, and 2 months later, it was at 30.
They're fine,
no.
dude. It's just a long-term
Yeah,
play,
whatever.
guys. You know, the
Right.
strategies in play. There's no management's strong.
Yeah,
Financials are strong. Outlook's
that's good.
strong.
Yeah.
You know, this will end up in like some fucking
When I got into
Salomon
crypto,
Brothers report.
you guys in
Oof.
crypto at all?
Yeah, I love crypto.
I got in at the worst time.
He's like
possible.
NFT. He's got like
Yeah,
he's,
like
he,
NFTs
He's got the
too.
thing on the social.
So-
you click on it. He's got like the monkey picture.
I got the weird picture on the.
You
What
got
the
it.
fuck?
I'm a little
You know what,
insecure
like-
about that.
Yeah, why are you monkey NFT boy?
I don't know. I like it. It's a
What's-
cool project.
What are
it's
those
the
ones
artist.
called? It's called the something yacht club.
I don't
Bored
even know
Ape
what an
Yacht-
NFT
Yeah.
is.
Bored Ape Yacht Club. If I had a Bored Ape, I'd be sitting. I'd be
What does it even
running
mean?
around here. Yeah, it's crazy. It's digital collectibles. I don't know how to explain it other than some fugazi shit. You know, like it really.
But you're into
doesn't the
it.
Bored Apes?
yeah,
Ed Caesar's
I
into
understand it. I do. It's like, and I like it, and I see the application in the future. But it's one of those things that's not ready yet. It's way
so
too early.
if
right
I mean the Bored Apes also don't they open you up to like a lot
now.
of
Yeah, and that's what the
like
technology.
private
Correct.
events and stuff that people want to be associated with because like what Steph
Correct.
Curry's got a Bored Ape and
Snoop and
a lot of celebrities,
Yeah,
Eminem and
if you own one of those also they do all these like super high end private events where you can meet people whatever.
I'm over here writing blogs about baseball.
yeah,
You should have got a Bored Ape.
dude, these things are nuts. Yeah,
I mean you
the
can get one
NFTs.
for several million.
Why don't we just do our own Bored Apes?
You guys should do something like
Thank
that.
you.
Imagine the
Smart.
boredest apes,
I need a
the
post.
Bored?
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
the most bored.
Or
apes.
like
Can I just have some money?
now, do I care that I just pulled a Chrome Bryce? Do I care?
No,
who is it? Bryce Harper?
No, if
yeah,
it was
yeah.
a first Bowman.
See, that's what
That's
I'll
like a
never
filler
wrap my
card.
head around. I'm holding Bryce Harper.
It's a filler card in the
MVP.
set.
Sweet dude.
He is
Nice
sweet.
flow.
Thank you.
Good flow.
Tyler.
He just looks like a ball player.
He does look like a ball
I
player.
mean, here I'll tell you who doesn't. I don't want to be disrespectful. See, I
who?
caught myself there.
Go for it.
Michael Toglia of the Rockies. Look at this virgin.
Ooh.
I was gonna tell you.
I
No,
mean
you
that
just buried
kindly.
him.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
listen. This
Mike's
guy's playing
listening to the
professional
show right
baseball.
now.
He's a big.
Yeah.
We just lost a fan.
You just lost a
Fuck,
fan.
man. I'll
That's
send
all
you a
right.
T-shirt.
I have gotten so much better. So much better.
He's the number 3
And I
prospect.
don't talk shit about players anymore.
He's starting to get better about that too.
I am. Thank you. He
A
is a
little-
guy.
I've
Actually,
had to get on you a couple
we've
times.
talked.
Yeah.
We've talked, but I didn't understand your perspective till I hear it.
That's fair.
Dave is a guy that he rags on a lot.
It's one
and it's
person,
like
yes.
uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
to sit
Larry
through.
Garcia.
Larry Garcia.
Really?
I mean, it's not his fault.
No, I like it. Well, I
It's
want to
not
hear
like
it.
Robin
I wanna hear it.
Williams, and he's
He's in the lineup every day, man. It kills him.
And
He's
honestly,
bad.
I
Just
love
kills
Larry
him.
from playing with him. like,
Everybody loves
whatever.
him, yeah.
But I understand. Like
He's
I
not
don't-
good.
I agree.
and on a championship team
Well,
getting.
I don't want to say
500
he's not
at-bats,
good. I can't say that, right? But I'm saying for
Well, if you're
playing
pitching
every
and you
day,
look at the
He's
lineup
playing.
card,
that's what I'm saying.
He's hurt right now, but I mean,
I liked him in the outfield. He was really good. Like for me, he made some really good plays in AAA when I was there with him and stuff.
Who are we
so.
talking about?
Larry
Garcia.
Garcia. But I never understood. I'm like,
Yeah,
how
you
is this
don't even
guy?
remember him.
How
He's-
is he a regular in the big leagues all the time? And I
on
love
a
Larry. Like,
championship
yeah,
fucking team.
that's awesome.
Well, caliber, talented enough, Dave.
Well, you got to remember too how
Their
hard
words,
it
not
is, and
mine.
there's not It's hard to be good at that level for a long.
Of
you know.
course
Yeah,
it is.
sure.
Of course it is.
See, thank you. That
But
was the perspective
it's-
I was
it's-
looking
there's
for.
gotta
I don't
be-
want to be ragging on
Talk to
Lurie right
They
now.
gave
It's
him a
not-
3-year
Yeah.
deal. He wouldn't have gotten a big league offer from a single other organization in baseball, and they gave him a 3-year deal. So every time he fucks something up, I'm just like, they gave him
You're
a 3-year
salty.
deal. And I'm
Same
like,
team
we have
that
to watch
doesn't
this
give
for
a
3 years.
qualifying offer to Carlos
Right.
Rodon.
That's
Yes,
Like, well, I
exactly.
think
We
his
were talking
arm's
about that
tired.
at the
That's
card shop.
crazy.
It's like Carlos Rodon.
Wait, they did not-
is going to opt
they did not
out
give him
and
a
get
qualifying
$200 million.
He told me he wasn't taking it.
Yeah, dude.
If I know that, you in the front office should fucking know that.
And you know what the
Wow.
risk was?
Yeah.
No.
He'd fucking
No.
take it. That's
Yeah.
the risk.
That what?
That-
That what?
that
That he
was
would
the
have.
risk.
That he would have
Here's the big
taken
risk.
it
Here's the big risk. We'll get Carlos Rodon
for
1 year,
19
$18
million.
million.
Yeah. Or whatever. Oh my god.
That's a huge risk. Can't do that. Can't
And
do that.
I don't care if it's 1 year,
That's crazy.
$75 million. It's 1 fucking year. Who gives a shit? If he fucking his arms blows up, you cut bait next year.
But
didn't
you got to understand
extend
from
him
these
a
guys'
qualifying
perspective,
I don't know
that's
how
their
you don't do
teammate,
that.
though, right? So, like, you show up, he's your teammate.
Yeah.
You know, you're not making those contracts.
Right.
And from a teammate perspective, good for you to get 3 years, bro.
100%.
I mean,
Yeah, I
fucking
want
good
yeah,
for you.
exactly. I want
Yeah.
everybody to get their
100%.
Right.
Everyone.
There's
Yeah.
nobody sitting there being like, no, there's probably, to your point, some frustrations if you guys are like a game back, it's must win. You're playing a doubleheader, and you're like, all right, he's getting 10 plate appearances.
Yeah.
Tony, somebody.
Yeah.
I like the guy.
Yeah.
You know, but you're not gonna say that. You're gonna be maybe at the back of the bus or something, or
Yeah.
like, yo, dude, are we like? What's
He's
going
been
on?
on the
Like,
he's
is he
been
still
on
hurt?
the
Is that guy
White
still
Sox
hurt?
since 2013.
That's what he's
That's
been there forever
insane.
too. He's got to be one of the
He was
longest.
traded- He's gotta
be one of the
longest
longest tenured players in
Gotta
the
be.
league, then.
Gotta be.
He's got to be in. He's
what I'm
going to get
saying.
the 10-5 rights.
I remember
He's gonna
turning-
get the 10-5
That's
rights.
surprising.
I remember turning on the
Okay,
TV
here
and being
you
like,
go.
Lori is still
Here you
there.
go.
Like,
Surprising.
right.
You don't even know who he is.
I mean, I know who he is. I don't.
You had to think about it for a second.
minute.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it is Lurie Garcia. We're getting deep, but this is at a broader level. This is, I think, this applies to a lot of.
You think he's
baseball
one of
teams, a
those
lot
guys
fan
that he
bases.
just like
100%.
looks back and he's like, "How did I do this?"
That agent should be hired by you guys. Like he should take over for you guys.
That's great.
Yeah.
What do you think about a
might be
comeback
right.
here?
You might be right.
I would love.
You want to announce a comeback right now?
I would love to. Like, I'll train for a couple months.
What-
It's
Well,
like,
baseball class
like,
now.
what would it be? Would it be a split? What would be like the thing where you're like, well, I got that, so I might as well just
You want
fucking go back
to?
out. Yeah.
At the end of my career, I was not good. Like, and they were doing all these analytical changes, you know, but not educating us on them. I don't know if you remember that, Jake, at all, but there was like they withheld information for about a year or two, and they're like, don't get caught up in all this stuff, you know. And that was right.
That's suppressing money.
Right.
That's
and
what
they
they're doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They didn't want us to have the information before they did and all
Right.
these different things, right? And then they didn't want us to get too caught up in all the information and overwhelmed with it. But I didn't understand. They were trying to like fix my spin axis on my ball, right? And all this stuff. And the Rangers were trying to do they should have just explained it to me, but I was so like stiff arm about it. So that's what I would change. I would like work on my spin axis and get back to like the good fastball that I had at LSU when I would get a lot of swings and misses, but I got on side of the ball towards the end of my career and my shit was just like riding.
You see
Now
a
is
lot
that
of
to,
people
yeah.
know, like they want to change your spin access and help this and that. But did you, in your experience, did you see that certain teams didn't know how to actually fix that? Like, oh, we know that this needs to be fixed or changed,
But didn't know
we
how
don't know
to.
how to fucking do
Get
it.
that out of the player, right?
Yeah, it's so easy to have the information and see
Right.
it on paper, but do you have the people with the skills in place to help make those changes? And
that's
that's
what
something that I saw that was lacking. It was okay, you have this information, but now how do we fix it?
Right. That's what
You
I
know what I
struggled
mean?
with too a lot, and like just not understanding it, and then being like, "Wait, so you want me to do this? Why?" Like, and that was the hardest part for me. And I guess I was always chasing, just trying to get back to throwing like 95, 96, you know. And I was like, "Why do you guys want me to be a sinker pit? You know, like all this shit, and like throw more sinkers and stuff." And my
Yeah, I mean,
ego.
it's hard, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you in the whole time, like, you know, when you were explaining come down to LSU, it's like, all right, you're going to be Sunday guy, freshman year, injuries, whatever.
Yeah.
Friday guy right away, sophomore year, buzz, top draft prospect, all that stuff. Then you just get into the mix. And then right away, it's how quick can you get to the big league level and help us? We drafted you early. We
Right.
paid you a lot of money. There's all this hype. And there isn't this sense of like, all right, you're going to struggle for a little bit, come back, come down. And I know the teams, I mean, it's their fucking job to manage these guys. But
Yeah.
as fans, you want so much, you want so much. But like, you know, the talent that you had when you're on your run is still there in like 12 and 13 when you're with the Orioles. It's just being in a spot
unlocking
where
it.
that can flourish.
Yeah. Right.
And just the number of
I
players
couldn't
that
figure out
just
how to
never
put
get
it
a
all
chance to
together.
flourish.
You know, and part of me is like, fuck, I wish I'd have figured it out, you know, in like 20, like really figured it out in 2011. But there's so much going on that's being changed. Like, hey, try this, try that. Like, I'm trying to go out here and get big league hitters out, and you want me to completely change my delivery.
We were
Like,
talking about you
that
getting
shit don't
traded to the
work.
White
That was
Sox.
so hard. That was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
The White Sox would have fucked you up. I guarantee it. I guarantee.
You see
it.
players
year
fucked up a lot.
One year, the Rangers
just
literally
really good.
made a change with me on like a Tuesday bullpen. You know, like, hey, we're gonna try to lower your arm slot. That's a pretty fucking big change. You know,
That
like,
repeatability takes like weeks to in an off season to figure out.
and then 3 days later, they sent me out in a big league spring training game, and we're like, all right, try it out. And I'm like, try it out? Like, I'm fighting for
Here's
a
the
job.
fire.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fighting for a job, and you want me to try something out.
Yeah.
I'm not a 12-year big leaguer that's on a $20 million contract. Like, I got to get guys out. I can't try shit out.
Because if you don't, like, you're not here
I'm going
anymore.
to AAA. Yeah, like, it's over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that hitter getting in the box trying shit out?
That's what I'm saying.
No, that
You're
hitter's
trying to
like,
take my
"You're
money.
ready to go.
Yeah.
Fuck,
So
man.
that was the big disconnect for me. Was like, wait, is it okay if I give up 9 runs right now because you're making career decisions?
Back on
me.
the Rays, my buddy, he's an agent, competing agent with our guy over here, but he was telling me a story. I forget the exact big league reliever. I had heard his name, but it was just like a journeyman big league reliever that the Rays had tapped into, and he was constantly worrying about who he's going to play for next because he was like always getting DFA'd by everybody. So he gets shit on by the Yankees, say, and that start he gets a phone call. It's a Rays area code. It was Kyle Bloom at the time, and he's like, "Oh fuck, it's Kyle Bloom." Like, here we go again, back on the who am I going to play for tomorrow? And he's like, "Hey man, like we were just going over all your tape. Your splitty, it had the same 12.4 inches of vertical drop on it. Blah 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 blah. You got hit around today. The shit was there. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll get him tomorrow." Like, that's the
like,
kind of
right.
shit I love.
Yep.
You know?
And
that
yeah,
was-
you can't
you never-
overanalyze
yeah.
everything.
Right.
Like, there are going to be days, like you said, you're going to have really good shit. You just get beat sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
It's baseball, yeah.
just get
These
beat
guys, these guys are
sometimes.
just like you guys are.
And
They're
they-
the best on earth at what
And
they
that's
do.
what I've told you before. Like, the guys on the other side are getting paid a lot of money too.
Yeah.
Or else they wouldn't
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah.
You know?
Baseball's so weird like that. He's
It's-
talking about like
it's
not
such a
knowing
weird-
where you're
yeah.
going. Like, my career was so weird in the sense of like my first 3 wins. I started 3 games in the big leagues, won all 3 of them, my first 3 starts, but I was sent down to the minor leagues after each one of them the night of the game. Like,
Yeah, see it
like
later.
crazy shit like
Later,
that.
man.
Like, I did my job. Wait, you told me to go win a game in the big leagues. I did it, but it's not good enough. You got to go down.
Well,
you know? And you're like,
you were probably getting sent down no matter what.
yeah,
Like,
exactly,
you're coming-
100%.
You knew
yeah.
that going
Which-
in.
which
Yeah.
is- that's-
And I
that's
knew
a-
it, yeah, but it's like
You
a
knew
weird
it.
concept.
It sucks though.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
fuck,
weird
and
concept.
like when you get a little taste, you're like, I want to stay here.
Right? And it's like,
Yeah, you get that
maybe
big
I did well
spread.
enough, you know? Like,
Yeah.
maybe I did good enough, you know? And it's like, nah, motherfucker.
Hey,
It's like,
right.
yo, go down. Yeah.
Hotels, a
See
little
you
better,
later.
spreads
Yeah,
nice.
like hey,
Yeah.
you're making
You
a
know.
spot start. Like we
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But then back
Like,
to
you got to
like,
go.
Iowa or
yeah,
wherever.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
And then one of the craziest things I do have a major league. Well, I don't know if it's still a record, but I
Say it.
tied an MLB record for walking the most guys in an inning.
I didn't remember.
That's got to be a high
Listen,
number.
It's bad. Wait, it's funny now. Like, we can laugh about
Yeah.
it, right? I walked 5 guys in 2/3 of an inning. Yeah, it was awful. Get taken out the game. I'm like, sit at my locker for a little while. I go to Twitter. I'm like, this will be funny at least. Like, Twitter, I just always refresh it and laugh at it, like when I had bad games. Somebody was like, well, Anthony Ranaudo just tied a MLB record for walking the most people in an inning. Oh, and by the way, he did that in 2/3 of an inning, and Clayton Kershaw has 4 walks in 93 innings so far this year. I was like,
That's insane.
put it in perspective for
Yeah,
me.
it's
But
a
the
different game.
best part was I was pitching for the Rangers against the White Sox. Literally the next day, got demoted to AAA, of course, and then get to AAA off the plane. I'm packing my bag at my locker. Call from the GM of the Rangers. I got traded to the White Sox. To the White Sox.
just walked all of
I
them.
walked all of them.
You're like, we'll
Hey,
get that guy
we
for
want this
nothing.
guy.
Yeah, I was like, John, I was like, you're fucking with me, right? And he's like, dude, I'm not fucking with you. He's like, they tried to make a trade in spring training for you, but we needed the depth, and I wanted you still. I wanted to give you a chance. He's like, but I think, after last night, it's probably
Change
ran
the
its
scenery.
Yeah, he's like, it's ran its course. I
saw
was like, well,
something
all
in you,
right,
though. They
that's cool.
wanted you.
And that's what I said. I was like, well, thanks, man. I appreciate you like letting me go rather than DFAing me or you know what I'm saying, like doing some weird shit like that. So it worked out, and I got to play for Chicago. It was awesome. So.
Dude.
I was at that game. It was pissing. Well, you didn't get called up to the next day, correct? When
What?
Sale got.
Yeah, the next day. Yeah.
So the game it happened, it was a fucking monsoon.
The day he was supposed to pitch,
That
and
he was
cut out
supposed
the
to pitch.
jerseys,
It was a hurricane outside, so the game ended up getting canceled anyways. And I'm in the parking lot. We were tailgating, and I was under a tree just trying to stay kind of dry. And I'm looking at my phone. It's like Chris Sale's been scratched. It's like, fuck, they just traded him.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, there was a fight in the clubhouse. There was like this and that. I'm like, what in the fuck? And then it's like, oh, he didn't want to wear the jersey, so he took garden shears to him. I'm like, what?
We heard rumors of that too, and we're like, no way this really happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, this is fake news.
Yeah, this can't. No way. He really cut up the jersey. Come on.
Yeah.
But
Cut 'em
I
up.
guess when they introduced the jerseys, it was like in spring training, they were like getting fitted for him. He's like, what the fuck is this? You don't tuck these in?
And it just so happened to fall on his start.
And
day.
he's like, I am not wearing those
But
jerseys.
that's what he said. He was like, if I'm on this day
and
to
it's
pitch,
just 20% chance, you know?
Yep.
And it fucking
and it landed.
landed.
Yep.
He
He said, I
hit
told you
7.
guys. Yeah, he walked in. He said, I told you guys I'm not wearing these fucking jerseys. And he went around and he just cut them all off.
Yeah, that is
$250,000 fine, and then you're suspended for 5 days.
on
too,
that
like,
fucking snake draft we did today. So we have this stupid podcast. I say stupid because it's literally stupid.
You might
not
get in
because-
trouble because this show goes out on Thursday, and Eddie's particular about.
I'm not. I didn't mean it in a bad way, but the concept is just objectively stupid. We just sit around and argue about the dumbest things, and one of them was like places you wish you could have been, or like you could time travel basically, and like where you like building the pyramids, and like looking back, I would just love to be a fly on the wall for that fucking jersey. Like what went down over those
Just
couple
watching,
hours before the games, and he's just sitting there. You fucking guys, I told you. You know?
Unbelievable debut.
right. I told you I wasn't going to do it.
For you to, that's the reason, and
That's
like
crazy.
what makes you get called up to the big leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get that call,
Never.
but we did beat you guys 2 out of 3.
Yeah, you did. You
know.
did.
And,
He's told that story about that series since I've known him.
That's what he told me yesterday. That's amazing.
I get on the phone. I'm like,
What are some stories that I haven't heard about it though?
You should hear the story that when
here
we
we go.
beat Carthage College when they were on a 27-game win streak and ranked first in the country in D3.
He'll do that, dude. Dave will do that. We're still breaking packs. Did we got any words?
I'm going to open all of them. I'm not stopping.
All right, here's a story for you for LSU.
Yeah, I love it.
So we take a bus. We are in Champaign, which is like 2.5 hours south of Chicago. So we like bus up to Chicago, and then we fly down to LSU. And the bus ride to the airport, it's nerves. We're excited. We had this LSU series circled for a while, and a lot of us like this would be by far the biggest venue we have played in and will ever play in.
Yeah.
There were some guys on the team that were very good, high draft prospects. A couple guys made it to the big leagues, but like we hadn't been to a tournament in like 10 fucking years. Just the idea of like going on to LSU was like, all right, let's just not get embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like let's just not
Keep it.
Yeah, like
respectable.
we're competitive guys. It was a really competitive team. That team more than any others, where guys would, whether you're like playing cards in the back of the bus or running sprints or working out or going out and chasing girls, like it was by far the most competitive group that we had.
I love that.
So when we went down and played, our Friday night pitcher was a sophomore from the football team who had just converted full time to baseball, and he's only throwing like 86 with a change. I had this huge pimple on my back, and then we'd be in the shower, and the guys would be like, "Dude, we got to pop this thing," and it was going for like a week.
Oh my god.
And I was like, "We're gonna save it. We're gonna save it pregame."
You dirty bastard.
So we had the
We're gonna
it's like,
save it.
It's on my spine. It's like a cyst. And Phil, who was a starting pitcher, is like, please let me get my hands on that thing. I'm like, no, because some people are just
People
like
who
weird
pop
like
pimples-
that.
yeah,
They,
that
some people,
freaks
like,
me out.
Love
I'm gonna
it,
be
and he's
honest.
like super into
There's
it.
an addiction to it.
Yeah,
So
like
it's
some
like,
people
hey, we
are
gotta
really
meet.
into
We're
it.
gonna get on the bus at like 2 or at the hotel.
Oh my god.
And we were joking around the bus ride on the way to the airport, like we're all nervous and stuff. And I was like, I got something, like I got it. So I got a group of guys, like the pitchers, were in the hotel room. They're like, take it off. And like Phil climbs on top of me, and the thing squirts. It goes up. Everybody's going nuts. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's have a good. And I'm not really playing at all. Whenever Phil goes out, pitches a good game. It was 1-1 going in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
We had a 2-run homer.
Do you remember all this?
I do. Well, I remember the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then probably one of the only games you lost.
Yeah.
And then you didn't even hang a loss, but
And you beat Coleman too. Coleman
Louis
came in on
Coleman
Friday.
came in, was
on
like
Friday.
the most
He was like our
legendary
guy.
SEC
Yeah,
reliever.
exactly.
Just come in for like
Nasty.
4
Yeah.
innings, 2
He was
innings, 1
nice.
inning, made it to the big leagues with the Royals.
Pitched a long time in the big
Bro,
leagues.
he was one of those guys when his career's over. It's like, why is he not pitching anymore? He's
Right.
got a career sub-3 ERA.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we play that game. We're riding. We're like, holy fuck, dude! Like we just beat LSU. It didn't even settle in. So we get to the field the next day, and it's like, dude, we could win a series today. Like, holy shit! You guys set an NCAA record, 4 Grand Slams.
I was gonna say we worked them the next day.
Dude,
Yeah, it was,
22 to 10.
Yeah.
They play that fucking fight song so many times. We were sick to our stomach. So we showed up the next day and we threw a guy who was like a 5th-year senior that couldn't break 82 miles an hour. And you guys just don't see that.
Yeah.
It honestly was like such a great trick and gimmick to go out Sunday after they'd set the record. Because we threw our traditional Saturday arms like, oh, this guy throws 91 with the slider. Like, all right, that didn't work. Like, why don't we do the guy who throws 90 with the curveball? Like, all right, that didn't work. Let's bring in the lefty that throws 90 with the slider. Like, all right, that definitely didn't work.
Yeah.
And so when we got Sunday, it was like, why don't we Reeser's got 82 in the tank with a change, polish, command, and so after we're like
82 in the tank.
That's what I love. That 82 in the tank.
yeah, but dude, we're like in the it's the third inning and it's like 2-0 Illinois and like he's cruising a little bit. We're like, well, we might be fucking onto something. So when we won that series, like sure, a lot of stuff never materialized in any of our baseball careers, but that's the thing that comes back together because that bus ride back Sunday, like. Our buddies went back and opened up the bars.
Yeah.
We broke every fucking law imaginable. We were out till 8 a.m. Like people, like coaches, like we'll just see you guys next.
Right.
Like don't fuck this up too hard.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We have to win the next series, but
Right.
like obviously there's no controlling you guys. And it was by far the hardest, biggest, best party, tightest thing. Like
That's so
the
great.
boys, we just relished in it. And then I ended up following your season hard. Checking
awesome.
box scores,
Yeah.
how these guys doing because we beat them and all this stuff, and it's like a huge right. Like it's, but again, I've talked about this several times in this episode of like the level up aspect. I'm looking at you being like, dude, that's a Friday night guy from LSU, and like, I just know that's just the way baseball works. You're always impressed with this guy. Oh my God, did you hear about this guy, this guy, this guy?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when we get together and we talk about the game, like. The way I love the game is the same way you love the game.
Yeah.
And the way you guys love your players and the way you guys love your experiences. And like, yeah, dude, I have fucking huge successes I hang on to that I love just like you do.
Yeah.
They might be a little bit different, but they mean just as much
same,
to me, just like the same failures.
I'm going to do it right now.
Yep.
Derek Eitel. He was a D3 guy. I went 8 for 10 off him one summer. He rung me up on the first at bat I fouled off like 5, 6, 7 pitches in a row off him.
Yeah.
He threw a hook on the outside corner and he got me looking. I rolled over on the next at bat that I went 3 for 3, 3 for 3, then 2 for 2 against him the rest of summer. He made it. I followed his minor league career because he was like a 15th rounder.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's so
Every
great.
5
Fuck
days, I was
yeah.
like, did I tell? Because if he would have made it to the major leagues,
Yeah.
and he never did, he never fucking did, I would have been like,
I booked him.
But you
Yep.
checked those
Hell
fucking
yeah.
box
Yep.
scores.
Yep.
And when he pitched well, you felt better about yourself.
Oh,
It
every
gave you
That's
some-
100%. Yeah,
That's
naturally.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
legit, dude.
So
And
you
that's
just
the
wish
game.
you could tell that story more. You wanted him to be a lot better.
I
Right.
wanted him to get to the major leagues for
So we
one
all knew
pitch.
his name too, like and be like,
Yeah,
damn,
one
you killed
pitch.
that guy.
But on
yeah.
a completely different spectrum, like me, you and I have talked baseball forever. I completely love and respect it. Ranaudo, I know, sitting here is like, dude, absolutely. You know,
Yeah, we got varying
Jake's got a
levels of
silver
success.
slugger.
That's a good one.
You have a
I love
silver-
that one. Yeah, yeah.
bro.
What?
Dude,
But
those
it's
Cubs
Coolest
teams could
award,
always-
How many-
coolest award in baseball.
How many bolts do you have in big leagues?
8, 7 or 8.
Do you have one? Don't you have one?
I have one. Yeah.
Who'd you hit it off of?
Yeah.
Jason Hamill.
Oh, that
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
count.
Yeah. That was-
been like 85. I could fucking
No,
hit
of
one
course
up
it counts.
Jason
No, all right,
Hamill
let's
right
go.
now.
And
At
what-
Wrigley?
What year was that?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Wasn't it
So
at
I was
Wrigley? I
16,
remember
yeah.
it.
That was my debut. That was my White Sox debut.
I
or
remember it
whatever,
like
yeah.
it was yesterday. I
Yeah.
vividly remember
In
that
regular.
bomb.
There's
Yeah.
nothing worse
Yeah.
than giving up a homer to a pitcher.
Well, that's what I.
Have you?
Huh?
Have you give up a home run to a pitcher?
No.
That's,
Yeah,
I
you don't
can't
know the
think so.
feeling
I don't
then.
think
You
I
so.
gave
can't
up a
say
home
that.
run to
But
Mike
I'm
Leake.
just
and it
saying,
was
like,
bad.
you're
It
like,
felt
fuck,
bad.
really?
Mike
Like,
Leake
Oh,
was
yeah,
legit.
he
no,
could
right.
rake.
He
Mike Leake
raked.
was
Yeah,
legit.
it made me feel okay. But
There's a few
he hit
guys
bomb.
that
Legend, Mike Leake.
shouldn't
Legend.
feel
Yeah.
too guilty about.
Yeah.
A handful.
Yeah.
What was it, Mike Owens or Chris Owens? One of them. I always-
Meek Owens.
Mike
Micah.
Owens, yeah.
Did Bogusevic do both, or was he just a
Bogusevic
Hampton.
ripped down the
Remember Mike
street for
Hampton?
me, bro.
He-
Mike
Mike Hampton
Hampton's
was
He
a
hit
legend.
like 12 bombs that one year.
Yeah, 1 year. Yeah.
He could hit.
Yeah.
He was,
Yeah,
and he was a righty
I
that
mean,
threw lefty. Remember that was
Sabathia could
bad.
hit.
Yeah.
Love CC.
Yeah.
CC
But yeah,
could
Jason
really
Hamill.
hit.
And I thought I
So
showed
you hit a
best
bomb.
was
What's the
Z,
story?
though.
What's the count?
01. So here's the story. So I'd had like 9 at bats in my career to this point, overmatching everyone. I faced Morton, Greinke, Leak was pretty good. So I faced some good guys, you know, and I was like, all right, I have no shot here. So my first at bat, I see the first pitch and I was like, that looked. I think I could hit that.
I can handle that.
Yeah, I can handle that. So I'm like, so second pitch, he throws it, and I just like threw my hands at it and hit like the ball kind of hard to second base. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't punch out. This is nice. This is good. I was like, next time up, if he throws me another fastball,
Close
I'm
your
gonna
eyes
take
and-
I was like, I'm gonna swing hard, like whatever.
Rip, yeah.
So first next at bat throws me a heater down the middle. I'm like, God damn,
This has
all
got to
right,
be on
yeah.
YouTube or something.
I was like, I'm gonna take a fucking G hack.
Yeah, you
this.
can find
Yeah.
it.
So throws me a fastball in the outside corner, and I just kind of went with it. And I was like, oh shit, let's go. And I see Hayward turn his shoulder, and I was like, oh fuck, I got my first.
do you
hit.
remember what number you were wearing?
45.
Yep.
Yeah, that was.
And
You
a
know
lot,
why
a
that's
lot,
cool,
a lot of
though?
the time with pitchers, you're just going heater.
That's
like,
it. Yeah.
all
You
right,
know
like,
why that
hit a
number's
ground
cool,
ball
though?
or just
MJ.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't want to
that's
waste
like the
6
coolest thing,
pitches
yeah.
on a punchy, or if you're like
No, the worst is
Or a
when you
punch out.
when you go 2-0 to a pitcher.
Exactly.
You're like,
Fucking
what the
basket right
fuck?
there.
Right.
What were you thinking around on the bases? I do
Well,
got the home run.
So I hit the ball, and I'm like, As I get out the box, I'm like, oh shit, okay. And I see Hayward. I know he's got a cannon. I was like, it would be so like this is all going through my mind. I'm like, I can't get thrown out at second base, so I start busting it. I was like, that would be so embarrassing. As I hit first base, I hear my first base coach go, "Fuck yeah!" And I'm like, holy shit, the ball went out. Like I'm like, okay. Let's backtrack. No joke. I had a fucking weird dream the night before that I threw a no-hitter and hit a home run. I had a no-hitter at the time, so I hit the home run.
Yes.
I'm like,
I remember that
hit the
because
home
it was
run.
his
I'm
first
like,
career start,
yeah.
and it was like the 6th inning.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I was like, holy shit, he's gonna throw no in his first
You
career
did
start.
not
So I was
have
like,
a
I
fucking
swear to
dream.
God, I
You
remember
were not
this.
dreaming this, bro.
on my life,
Laying
I
at the
swear.
Ritz-Carlton dreaming this shit.
It wasn't the Ritz, unfortunately.
Okay,
But
the Sox ain't putting you up.
no, they
It's a
didn't.
home game
Yeah,
for
they
you,
didn't.
basically.
Yeah.
Wrigley.
But as I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna throw a no-hitter. Like this is gonna happen.
This is
Here
like
we
a
go.
premonition,
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
yeah.
So I'm like getting to second base, and I'm like, okay, well, don't fuck this up. Don't miss the bases, And then I get to third base, and I'm like, I don't even know what to do to the third base coach. How do I celebrate? And so I just give him a little love, And then I see home plate, and I'm like, I don't know what to do when I get there. Do I walk? Do I jog to the dugout? It's kind of far. Like
Your mind's
literally,
going a
just
million miles, yeah.
I made the wrong decision. I hit home plate and I walked to the dugout, and it took forever. And I was just like, this is the wrong choice.
And
I
they-
can't jog now. Like,
You can't go back
I
on
can't
it,
go
right. You
back,
can't go
right?
back on it.
So I get in the dugout. I want to like celebrate, but I just met these guys a day ago. They don't even know me.
They're
and
like, who
everything.
the fuck is
Yeah,
this
they're
guy?
Like, who the fuck do you hit? Like, are
Let's
you
go.
good? Yeah, exactly. And then Frazier looks at me. He's like, damn, son. He's like, you pimped the shit out of that. He was like, that was Big Poppy style, 35 seconds around the bases. And I was like, did I show him up? I'm like, oh my God. I was like panicking.
I'm
So
the
my-
rookie. I'm gonna get
Exactly.
beat.
Yeah. Next at bat, I fucking go up to Jesus Montero and I'm like, hey dude, I'm like literally doing my pregame thing and I'm like, hey man, make sure you just tell Hamels that I wasn't showing him up, and he just starts dying laughing. He's like, bro, he's not worried about
Yeah, I
that.
think we know. Like, I think the embarrassment on that is like you
Yeah.
gave up a home run
Exactly.
to Anthony Ranaudo,
Ranaudo.
his first fucking start.
Exactly.
Like, dude, that's
Nuts.
unbelievable.
Yeah, it was crazy. So that was fucking wild. But sure enough, Chris Bryant crushed my dreams next first leadoff batter, threw him a 3-1 fucking curveball, and he crushes it out the park.
Really?
I'm like, and it was a good pitch too. I felt good about it.
See, he was just so, and it is this way now. I mean, it's not like anything changed. It's just he's not playing in the backyard anymore, not watching him every day. But, there would be times where he could get overmatched with velocity. You'd say like, okay, well, big heater, maybe he'd be late. Not that he can't hit it, but just the way that the approach is so technically sound that he won't get fooled by that curveball.
No.
Like you very rarely see him swing over the top of breaking stuff. He's just his basis and approach of like, if it's in my zone and it's within the realm of like, it's not overpound. You don't even have to make a huge mistake. It's just not exactly what you wanted to do.
Yep.
It can get punished. There aren't a lot of guys like that too as much like he's not a 3-outcome player. He's not a walk, strikeout, home run guy. He is very much a complete offensive player, hitting it the other way and shit. I love that when he came up. Him and Rizzo, when they were coming up with the Cubs, it was like, dude, these guys look middle other way.
Right.
And then obviously as you get older in your career and you learn, and that's something I've learned, is that the hitters are learning how to hit for power. Not that they're making fucking swing adjustments. It's not even like these major, like, okay, well, like Justin Turner literally talks about just moving around the plate.
Yeah.
And just looking for a different type of pitch and like, I want to get my barrel out in front of the zone.
Yep.
He's not like doing fucking swats and power cleans and, thinking about like, all right, well, now I know the pitcher's going to do this to me. It's literally, to him, as simple as like, all right, I have to be closer to the plate and I'm going to look a little bit more in front of the plate.
Yeah.
Dude, that's just a philosophical thing. That's no different than being on a tee box and be like, all right, I'm just aiming left now, or like I'm gonna do little fucking changes. But it is such a complicated game, man. Where you say, yeah, I threw that 3-1 breaker to Chris Bryant. It's like, how the hell did he hit that? But like, that's why
really
he's
good.
the best in the world.
He
or
won the
why he
MVP that year, right?
Near
And
unanimous, 29
yeah.
of the 31st place votes.
He's so good too, because like I think why he hits curveball so well too is he's low in that stance and he has that length in his swing, and it's like he comes under, and so he stays in his zone so long.
It's like it's very level, but he does have an uppercut finish.
His philosophy was to try and hit a fly ball every at-bat.
time, yeah.
But his fly balls just happened to go 420 feet.
Exactly.
So it was kind of a different breed. And typically, the more launch angle you add to your swing, the more holes you're going to have. But he just has that ability, like JD Martinez, like that.
Yep.
That sort of like, high launch angle swing.
Castellanos.
Exactly, exactly. And, there's a select few like that can have, repetitive success doing it. Not everybody can do that.
Yeah.
Who's the guy in the big leagues that can get like the hottest? Is there somebody where you're like, dude, when that guy's hot, it's just
Joey
like,
Votto's in there.
yeah.
Mookie Betts, I feel
Mookie
like.
Betts
When Mookie
is-
gets
yeah.
hot, I feel like it's like, damn. I feel like Trout's up there too. Like
I mean, of course, Trout. Yeah,
Just
of
dialed
course.
in.
But that's why I feel like he has these runs though, where it's like, dude, what? He's hit 12 homers in 14 games. Like,
Yeah, because you'll see those spurts where it's like, did you hear Mike Trout hit 250 in June?
right.
It's like, all right, well, let's
Yeah.
just watch July.
Yeah.
first.
Well, you remember when
Exactly.
Votto hit like 2 something like the first half, and he's like, I'm gonna hit 400 like the second half.
Yeah.
And he went off and just
Like, hit
and
400.
did
I remember
it.
hearing when Ichiro broke in, he was hitting like $120 in spring training, because all he wanted to do is work on staying inside the baseball and like kind of guiding the ball to the left side of the either the gap or left field or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, you gotta start hitting better. Like, you're supposed to be good. And he's like, watch this. Like 2 bombs in the next 2 at bats in spring training. He's like, that's not what I'm working on right now.
Well, and like legend has it that
Going
Ichiro said that he could hit 40
That's
to
right.
50 something home runs if he wanted to, but he's trying to hit for average. Because I
believe
remember going to like Rangers Mariners games as a kid, and watching his BP, and it was some of the most impressive display of power to all fields. He would hit homers to left
Yeah.
field, left center, right center, and right field. Just
It's a weird
on command.
Do you
It's
have
a
a- that's a
poor
tool.
comparison.
And I caught I think I had at least one home run ball from Ichiro. It was in
No.
BP, but yeah, so we'd float around because I kind of remember hearing about that. So early we would like set up in left field, and then in his later rounds we would like sprint around to go to right field to try and get home run balls. And the one I caught was in right field.
When you were going to games as a kid, were you very much like, I can't wait to be a big leaguer? Or was it?
It was
like,
a
man,
dream.
that would
It
be
was
sweet to
It
one
was
day be
definitely a dream. Like I always wanted to wear that uniform.
Yeah.
Always.
And when, like, at what point were you like, all right,
Was
I'm
it
wearing
like
the uniform?
it seems like a real chance?
Yeah. Was it before or after Weatherford?
I would say it was probably
And that's the community college.
Weatherford my freshman year. That's when I started throwing like 96 to 98. Like as a senior I was, 90, 92. I had
But there's a
some
lot of guys
velocity.
in Texas that are 90 miles an hour.
fucking
Like,
every
you're
one
a
of
starting
them.
pitcher
Every one
in
of them.
Texas high school.
But then like
baseball,
I
yeah.
went to Weatherford, I grew a little bit more, I got stronger, I started throwing really hard. I'm like, okay, now I can, because I got drafted by the Reds at a high school in the 30th round or 31st round, and then 26 by the Brewers in 2005. And I'm like, if I can like figure out how to throw a changeup and command the ball a little bit better, like I've got a real shot. Because I was watching all these guys and like I've got stuff like that or better stuff. If I can just like hone these tools a little bit, I'll be pitching the big leagues for sure.
That's such a cool time in the high school days when you go to the games with the boys and you're just like roaming around trying to get a couple beers here and there, little churros,
Oh yeah.
hitting the food stands, hanging out with the boys. What a full circle baseball show for me. Obviously, this is, like I said at the top of this, like just baseball guy city in here. Do we pull any good cards? Like it just got
You guys just
silent.
waste all
like,
your-
as-
That's
as
why
the packs are
opening
open.
packs is just
a gamble.
It's not it is a huge gamble. It's not
It's like
the
a
best
scratch off,
idea.
basically.
That's
Like,
exactly
it's-
how I describe it to
1
people when they
million
come in the
percent.
shop. Like that's
It's
literally
more
my
fun than
analogy.
a scratch off though.
Like
It's
we
a
got
lot
these.
more
No
fun.
one even said a word about an NBA. We just pulled like a Wang Chung.
I didn't get anything good.
Nothing good.
Nothing good.
Like
Not
Jalen
even
Yeah,
Suggs.
I mean, you're
man,
looking
it's
for those.
brutal.
You're looking for those case hits.
You
the
got a one-of-one beef
one.
loaf card.
beef loaf.
Those are funny, man.
So no, I mean nothing yet. But I mean these Bowman Chromes, these boxes are like around $300 a box, so it's nothing crazy. When you're spending $1,500 to
Disclaimer,
$2,000
very
a box,
crazy.
then you're really
5,000,
upset when
right.
you don't hit
Yeah,
anything.
like,
You know.
Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Imagine-
Marvin Bagley. That's a good one. All right, this is starting 9. How'd we do?
I think we did well. We did well.
So our first.
I had a
I
blast.
love. I haven't
Yeah.
ripped
I had
it
a
up
good time.
about baseball like this in a long time.
Isn't it? I'll be honest. It's like one thing when
I'm
we're sitting
missing-
around being like, "Did you hear this? Did you hear that?" It's a little bit different when you're like, "Is that true?
Yeah.
Is this
And we
so?
know- yeah.
Am I wrong?" I will say I have been validated though. We're sharp. I'll tell you this much, Dave. Our baseball opinions are no joke. Like we're not slouches.
We're good.
We aren't.
You guys do a great job, and you're genuine fans of the game. You're well informed. You know what you're
Right.
talking about.
And that's all these people can ask for. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. And you have passion. You care. Like that's the thing.
Hey,
you know?
man, you know how much I love this game, right? We
Yeah.
should start hanging out.
Yeah, I agree.
we should. Well, we'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see.
We are drinking some beers. It's a good start.
Yeah,
you know?
speaking
See if
of
we can
which-
fit it in.
Beers with the
Speaking of
boys.
which, let's
But
go
we're gonna come down. We're gonna come down to Baton Rouge.
I would love to.
We're
host you
gonna
guys.
see
Yeah.
Cards and Culture. We're gonna do the podcast.
That'd be awesome.
And yeah, thanks for being with us.
No, thank you guys for having me. I want to host you guys now. We'll go to a football game and make it fun.
Actually, I am going down there on October 22nd against Ole Miss, pretty sure.
Let's go.
So I'll hit you up
I'll
for
be
sure.
there. That would be
How
awesome.
about that? Broker and relationships. This is Starting Nine. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Leave a review. When we come back next week, we're talking to Shane Bieber.
Shane Beebs.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's in the middle of some shit right
I mean,
now.
we've had some guys. We've had some
We're
dudes.
stacking,
And they do
dudes.
well
Tell him
afterwards,
to, like,
right?
tone
As
it
soon
down
as
a
you
little
come
bit.
on, like,
I need to have
you
a
guys are
comeback.
getting like whatever you're into is gonna come your way. Like
Nice.
you're gonna be pulling some stuff as soon as the show's over. Whatever you want to pull is gonna be pulled.
I love it.
Dave,
That's how it goes.
Say
Yeah.
that
a
to
couple
me,
of
too.
Chicago
love
sixes, maybe a 7.
Maybe, yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I know we're all chasing it. Yeah, we're all chasing
We're
it.
chasers.
Honestly, though, go
Chasers.
subscribe to our stuff. We'll be back next week with like loaded stuff. We're getting ready for playoffs. Big shit coming. This is Starting Nine. Thank you guys.